Mike Missanelli Show. So much to talk about. I don't know where to turn here in the early parts of this show. So we start with the most current on a really good win for the Phillies last night. I mean, it's beyond my comprehension how Major League teams can blow 6-1 leads and then 8-4 leads late in the game. But the Toronto Blue Jays managed to do it, giving up a ton of hits to the Phillies last night with Kyle Schwarber lighting it up. 5 hits and 3 bombs, including the one that put him ahead in the 9th inning. That's a pretty significant win for the Phillies. But we walk out of this game with more concerns. Well, not more concerns, but the same concerns on who in the hell are they going to get to be their 5th starter, and should they rest Bryce Harper because he just looks he looks like he doesn't have home run pop. Now he's hitting the ball hard, and I think he's changed his swing a little bit to put the ball in play to hit it to be between the left field and right field area, but he's not hitting home runs, and it begs the question whether you should give him a rest. But last night, I love hitting. I love watching hitters. Kyle Schwarber reminds me of Chase Utley with power. Like, he's got that short swing that generates such velocity. I don't understand how guys can generate that kind of bat speed with a short swing, but he does it, and it's pretty impressive as a studier of hitting. But we have to get to this because the flags at Bishop Eustace today are at half-mast. After Tyler Phillips, they sent him out again, and you feel sorry for the kid, but he doesn't have major league stuff. It's a shame. Bill, I know you're a Bishop Eustace guy. I know you take this hard. But you're going to look at this, and I know exactly where you're going to go. You're going to go right to the general manager's office after you talk about Tyler. Am I right?
You're spot on,
this
man.
Is Bill Colarulo with Ray Dunn's our producer. Of course, you know, if you've been listening to the show, these are my cohorts. So go ahead, cohort.
You're spot on, man. You're starting to learn me a little bit. But, yeah, I feel bad for Tyler Phillips. We still got Zach Gallen in Major League Baseball, but Tyler Phillips, you're right. He just doesn't probably have Major League stuff, and once these pitchers get through a few starts and the opposing teams figure him out, it makes it difficult. He only goes 2/3 last night. But this does make my point about Dave Dombrowski. And it's okay to acknowledge that Dave Dombrowski is a great general manager, president of baseball operations, whatever you want to call him. But at the same time, point out the fact that he didn't do enough at the deadline. He should have upgraded the back end of this rotation. And I understand the argument that a lot of people make. Your 5th starter's not going to pitch in the postseason anyway. I get that. But there's a couple of reasons why they should have done it. Every 5th game can't be a scheduled loss. You're not going to win 10-9 very often like you did last night when your starter goes 2/3. That's not going to happen every 5th day. But more importantly than that, we still don't know what we have in Ranger Suarez. So Dave Dombrowski should have done more. And I know where you're going to go, and you're going to say, well, what did you want him to do? Who did you want him to get? I'm sure there was somebody that he could have pried away from another team. If you had to give up prospects to do it, I would have been okay with that, because this 5th game now, this 5th starter, could be the difference between a 1 seed, a 2 seed, or even a 3 seed. But even more importantly, what if Ranger doesn't get back to who he was? So that's my concern.
Let me ask you: Did he cover his rotation when he got Spencer Turnbull? Was that a good move? Was that like a depth move?
It was a great move. The problem was Turnbull's not healthy.
Okay, well,
so you got to pivot.
You can't predict when a guy's not going to be healthy, so you got to pivot. So you're going to pivot to give away prospects for a 5th starter. That's what your plan was.
If possible, I would have tried, and I know he tried to get Crochet. It didn't work out. That was the word that was reported. I forget who reported it. But I would have tried to do something where it's not only a 5th starter, it's someone that maybe could even grow into being in the top 4 of the rotation.
Who is going to give up a player like that? Who is going to give up a primo pitcher?
You're going to have to give up prospects.
Gold bars. Why would you give away a prospect at this point? You have so few prospects. Why would you give away a guy like Aiden Miller, who everybody is asking for? Are you going to give him up?
Depends on
your future of your infield.
Depends on who the pitcher is. Depends on who the pitcher is. Look, it's World Series or bust, man, this year, not 4 years from now.
The World Series or bust isn't going to depend on a fifth starter. They're good. They're a good enough team to get to the World Series without having a fifth starter.
Are they a good enough team to get there without a fifth starter and without Ranger Suarez?
They're a good enough team to get the 1 and 2 seed without a fifth starter. You don't see that? And you want to give away prospects for that slim chance that they add a guy who can help them be a fifth starter. That's what your plan was. Are they a good team? In their current form, are they going to be a 1 or 2 seed?
It's going to be close on the 2 seed.
Come on, man.
It's going to be close.
All right, so even if they're not, they haven't gotten a seed since they've been in the playoffs. They did get to a World Series 1 year despite that. This is not a team that you think can get a 3 seed and still get to the World Series?
Sure, they can. Look, they've done enough.
Why are you sounding an alarm for nonsense?
Because this isn't nonsense.
It's nonsense.
You're going to sit here and say that you're okay with every fifth day putting out what you just put out. Number one, it also puts a strain on your bullpen.
Look where they are right now. How many starts does a fifth starter have to make for the rest of the year? How many? 3?
Maybe 4 or 5. I don't know what it is.
It's not 4 or
Ray,
5.
What is it? How many? Do you know offhand?
How many have
They
left
got
to make?
how many games do they have left?
They got like 4.
4 more starts.
So,
Four
like,
more
25
starts.
games going to
They
last
can't
night?
cover their butt with 4 more starts in the 5th slot. Come on, Bill.
First of all, it's 4 or 5 now. How many did we just live through with Taijuan Walker and now Tyler Phillips? And before that, Colby Allard, who actually did okay.
Figure out a way to get through it. They got Kobe Allard. He'll give you 5 innings in a couple of games. Come on, man.
What if Ranger
won a game last night? I understand. Like the bullpen had to come up big for them. The bullpen had to throw 8 1/3 innings last night, and even Taijuan Walker was fairly decent through 41 pitches. They give up a couple of runs. They give up 3 runs the rest of the game where they had a piecemeal that game.
Taijuan Walker.
What are we bitching about?
The bar of what's fairly decent for him is way down.
But
3 runs.
Was it better than Tyler? Listen, dude, you can't possibly be a major league pitcher and give up 8 hits in the first inning.
You're making my point
including
for
a
me.
couple of bombs.
But you're making my point for me.
Okay, I get it. He's not good enough to fill the 5th starter. I get all that. But you're talking about like something drastic. Give up prospects just to get a 5th starter. That does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense to roll out Taijuan Walker or Tyler Phillips every 5th day.
It does for the 5th starter. You can get by.
What happens if Ranger Suarez isn't 100% healthy? We still don't know what we have in him.
You're thinking you're going to add Tom Seaver. This notion that the good pitchers are available. Look at that guy that started for the Blue Jays last night. He's been a journeyman for 6 years. He throws pus, and he's one of their main guys. You're going to get less than Chris Bassett in a trade.
All right, well, let me ask you. Then why did it get reported that Dombrowski made calls on Garrett Crochet?
Well, of course you make calls, but you don't give up prospects.
Have we been following Garrett Crochet since the deadline?
Yeah, but he's on a terrible White Sox team.
Yeah, but it can't just be that the team's not
He's
good.
still got to get guys out.
Yeah,
the responsibility as a pitcher is
I think it's
to
contagious.
get guys out.
Part of the problem was he was trying to keep himself in a starting rotation when there was concern over whether or not he was going to be able to eat those innings.
I know Bill was going to sound the alarm today and go right to Dombrowski.
I'm not sounding the alarms.
Yes, you are. It's Dombrowski. He didn't get a starter pitcher.
Listen, Dombrowski's a good general manager. He's a very good general manager. He's won everywhere he's been. But what his MO has been at previous stops is he goes all out to put the team over the top. And I felt like he could have done more at the deadline. We can acknowledge that. Now, is this team good enough to win the World Series? Sure, it's possible. But he should have done everything in his power to make it likely.
You're a skyfall, man. Sky's falling. Sky's falling. They're not gonna, because they don't have a 5th starter, the world's going to end, Ray. It's ending.
They won.
Listen, there are a lot of things to talk about today. That, and also the Eagles with an interesting little development. Devin White will not make the trip. And then there's a tweet out there that says the Eagles are looking to trade him. What the hell happened here? What happened with Devin White?
This doesn't look. This is the type of thing where is this Howie Roseman putting out information? Because now we haven't heard all preseason at all that they were considering moving on from Devin White. He only played 28 snaps in the preseason.
In fact, the first few weeks of camp, there was praise for Devin White. Oh, he's flying all around the place, blah, blah, blah. What happened? Does this Fangio look at a player and go, that's not going to work for me. That guy's not going to work for me.
It's possible, man. And look, I think Fangio is going to get what he wants.
I'm definitely getting what he wants. He's got autonomy, complete autonomy.
But when they signed Devin White, I mean, a lot of us had our concerns. There's a reason why he was benched last year in Tampa, but you just haven't heard this at all. And now all of a sudden he's got an ankle injury, and it's, Nakobe Dean beat him out anyway. We don't know what his role, if any, was going to be on the defense. And now Albert Breer saying, they were talking about maybe trading him before cuts. Where's this coming from?
Well, I don't know. They're very thin at that position. And we're going to talk about this as we zero in on the Friday night game, first game of the year against the Packers. And the Packers have some things that I was reading in the paper today that they're concerned about in playing the Eagles. So, we'll get all that. Here's how you get in. It's also General Knowledge Wednesday. 610-632-0975. It's the audience versus Ray. Are you smarter than a 24-year-old? And I started to think maybe there's a 24-year-old out there who thinks he's smarter than this 24-year-old. Big prize
Unlikely.
today. Concert tickets is the prize today. 610-632-0975. The 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment, no payments, and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Back after this. 97.5 and the Fanatic. It's General Knowledge Wednesday. Here's the deal, General Knowledge Wednesday. And, we'll kick this off as soon as people are anxious to participate against Ray. If you get a question right, all you do is get one question right. You get a pair of tickets to FanFest, which is coming up. And if you then are qualified for the big prize, you may score a pair of concert tickets to see Weezer. Now, listen, I understand this is not a brother-friendly present here. Prize. You know?
You don't think?
No, I don't know. I don't have any brothers like Weezer. But this is since we have rock stations here in our chain, these are the concert tickets that we get. So Weezer is a very classic band.
Yeah, and apparently he's playing the full Blue album, my understanding. I think that's the Ooh, I look just like Buddy Holly. Is it that one?
Look at you, man.
Is that the Blue album,
Look
Ray?
at you.
I'm not a big Weezer guy, but
I'm not either.
I struck you as the big Weezer guy.
you do look like you could be in the band.
Why did you say he when you referred to Weezer? Weezer's
Well,
not
it's they.
a
It's
guy.
they. Yeah, Weezer is a band.
What is it,
It's
Mr.
like
Mr. Weezer.
It's like
Fronts
Hootie.
the band?
It's like Hootie and the Blowfish when everyone calls Darius Rucker Hootie. Did you ever see that Key and Peele skit?
Yeah.
It's funny.
In any event, that's the prize for today. And here are the categories that I've carefully selected. And I think Ray has a shot today, depending on the categories. So one is general knowledge. One is NFL football. And one is three-letter answers.
Interesting.
Three-letter answers.
Talking like acronyms, words, combination.
I can't give you any more information on that. This is, so
You asked the questions here. Yeah,
I can't prep you
All right.
for this.
Fair enough.
One other thing that I wanted to talk about was this. I love the polls that the Athletic does, and the Athletic came up with a poll called a Hopometer, the NFL Hopometer, where they actually took information from the fan bases of various NFL teams this year to come up with the highest optimistic score that the fan base has. In other words, the most optimistic fan base in order as we go down based on the survey questions they asked the fans. Now, who do you think was the most optimistic fan base in the NFL as reasoned by this poll?
In previous years, I would have said the Cowboys, but I don't think they're that optimistic this offseason because they haven't done anything to make the team better. Most optimistic, and I didn't read the article.
The Cowboys are not even in the top 10.
Which goes to show how bad of an offseason they had because Cowboys fans always like to puff up their chest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go most optimistic fan base, Detroit Lions.
That is correct.
Whoa!
So you're now starting to buy in after weeks of denigrating the Lions' approach with Mr. Macho Dan Campbell.
I'm not buying in. I just know
You're
their
not
fans are buying in.
98.8% optimism.
Well, think about it. The Detroit Lions have been terrible for years and years and years, and they finally have a good team who goes to where'd they get to last year? The NFC Championship game, and they lose. So of course they're optimistic. That's why.
And they have little comments from the fan base. So optimist John says about his Lions, seismic shift in approach, culture, foundation, 20 of 23 picks since the 2021 draft are on the roster. This isn't fleeting. This is transformation. We have a team in the conversation every year moving forward.
Not wrong. I mean, they have done a great job drafting.
Okay.
They really have.
I'm going to go down the list here and see where I find the Eagles' optimism, because this is normally an optimistic fan base, correct? Are the Eagles number 2, Bill?
I would have thought they'd been high. They would be high, but since you're asking it like that, I'm going to say no. They're not number 2.
Who is that?
The Green Bay Packers.
Incorrect. The Kansas City Chiefs fan base.
Of course.
98.7% optimism. And
They should almost be eliminated from the
The
list.
main concern is complacency, optimist Mike says, but the leadership of Mahomes and others mitigates that it's a good deal. Who is the third most optimistic fan base? Ray?
I have the article up in front of me.
Oh,
so
you do? All right.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Incorrect. This is the team that we talked about yesterday. The team that was projected to defeat the Eagles in the playoffs.
Chi-Town.
The Chicago Bears fan base is bursting at the seams. There is legitimate talent at all skill positions on offense, an ascending defense, and a coaching staff and front office on the same page for once. There is an energy about this team and this fan base that I have never seen, says one of their fans.
Not buying it.
Not buying it.
Not buying it. I've also seen that Matt Eberfluss is one of the best, has the best odds for Coach of the Year.
Everybody's high on the Bears. Let's move on to the fourth most optimistic fan base, which is an interesting team that happens to play the Philadelphia Eagles Friday night.
The Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers. Very optimistic about their team. Very optimistic about their quarterback.
The issue with the Packers is still going to be that defense. That defense was leaking oil at the end of last season. As much of a collapse as the Eagles had, you look at the Packers defense, they were terrible. That's why they fired their defensive coordinator.
Correct. And they brought in a guy who switched it to a 4-3.
Switched it to a 4-3 from a 3-4. He's only really been a head coach at the college level. He coached defensive backs at the NFL level before. So that's the big question mark with them is their defense.
Yeah, and we'll be getting into the crux of this game in a little bit because if you remember, Jalen Hurts burned them. Rushed for what, 157?
In their last meeting.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right. The fifth most optimistic fan base. We still haven't got to the Eagles. Now we're in number 5. Are the Eagles number 5, Bill?
They got to be. We're an optimistic fan base.
Incorrect, Bill.
What's going on, Eagles
The
fans?
Houston Texans fan base, 96.4% optimism. You know what? If I was a Texans fan, I would feel the same way.
Yeah, how could you not? You just saw C.J. Stroud as a rookie do things that no one's ever done.
With a coach that everybody believes in down there.
Mufasa, as Chip Kelly used to call him.
That's correct. Now we move on to number 6. Are the Eagles fan base the 6th most optimistic fan base?
I'm going to keep saying Eagles until we get it because they got to be up there.
Incorrect. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, Joe Burrow coming back from injury.
93.8% optimism. Healthy Joe Burrow, healthy Joe Burrow, healthy Joe Burrow, and a healthy Joe Burrow is what the one guy says is the reason for his optimism.
Hard to argue. I think Burrow's a
With
stud.
a top 1-2 punch at wide receiver.
Assuming Jamar Chase plays a lot this season.
All right. We're at number 7, Bill.
The Eagles.
Incorrect, Bill.
What the hell is going on in Philadelphia?
The Los Angeles Rams fan base. 90.9% optimism. Optimist Matt fan says, 2 words, Sean McVay. McVay has proven himself to be a capable and innovative leader.
What about Aaron Donald?
Matthew
He's retired.
Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. Nuff said, says another fan.
They lost one of the best defensive players we've seen in the last decade.
That is correct. And that's where the pessimism comes in. Now let's go to number 8. Are they number 8, Bill?
I'm going to go yes, Philadelphia Eagles.
That is correct.
It's about
The
time.
8th most optimistic fan base, but only at a 90.6% optimism. What does the pessimistic fan say?
Nick Sirianni.
I have no faith in Sirianni, says pessimistic Mike. I'm worried that the offensive line will take a meaningful step back, and I'm concerned that Jalen Hurts has a ceiling in terms of his ability to elevate the offense.
They asked you, are you optimistic, Mike?
Not pessimistic Mike, no. Optimistic Tim says that Howie Roseman has set this team up. Either the team wins a lot of games or the team wins by dropping Nick Sirianni. That's the optimistic guy.
Man, people, too much hate.
610-632-0975 is how you get in on General Knowledge Wednesday. We'll start it after this. 10:33 in the Delaware Valley. Mike Missanelli Show. Oh, Fall Out Boy. Weezer tickets today, right? We were just talking about Weezer. For General Knowledge Wednesday, a lot of people like them and say they're really good live. Now, I frankly am not a Weezer man because I consider them in that category of what's called a joke band. Like, it's not serious. Every song is kind of like jokey.
You don't think
I'm not a jokey man.
The "Destroy My Sweater" song was a
no. I mean, everything they do is jokey. Like there's not. It's like and it's fun music.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown.
But I'm with you. It is.
Yeah, they're fun. They're a fun band. But I rank my rock and roll a little more serious than Weezer.
But if you are a Weezer fan, these tickets are lower level. So it's a pair of lower level tickets for Friday, September 13th at the Wells Fargo Center. And it's the Weezer Voyage to the Blue Planet Tour. And all you got to do is be smarter than Ray Dunn.
And the lead for Weezer is Italian. So, I mean.
Who's the lead for him?
Rivers Cuomo.
That's his name?
Yeah.
You know more about Weezer than me. Who's opening for Weezer? Do we know that? Or does anybody open for them?
I don't know. Who's opening for Weezer? General Knowledge Wednesday today. So if you call with a point, and especially with this optimism, I'm down on the fan base not being optimistic here, or below a bunch of things. They're 8th on the list of optimistic fan bases. Number 9 is makes sense. The Jacksonville Jaguars fan base very optimistic about their chances. And the Atlanta Falcons are very optimistic, although I think that's misguided optimism because their quarterback will eventually let them down.
Surprised the Jets aren't up there with Aaron Rodgers now being healthy.
You've been beaten down for so many years.
They've been beaten down recently.
That's what I mean, though. But they got to have some optimism.
They don't trust the coach. They don't trust the quarterback. They're way down on the list.
And I enjoyed some of the pessimistic comments. Like the Bears won. Every instance of optimism in the Bears has ended in despair. Like that, to see the pessimism that's driving home some of these people, even the most optimistic fan bases.
Let me read some pessimism from Jets fans. First of all, 73.2%. They're 19th on the list. Pessimist Christian. A quarterback who soon will get AARP mailings, limping around on a surgically repaired leg. Pessimistic Darryl. Too many question marks regarding age and recovery from injuries on the roster, and no offense coached by Nathaniel Hackett will ever win anything. Oh, and it's the Jets we're talking about. They're just bitter.
Well,
bitter Jets fans.
If they listen to your quarterback rankings, they should be happy. You got Aaron Rodgers like number 1.
I don't believe that he's not going to come back from surgery.
Yeah,
I don't have him number 1.
No, where'd you had him in your top 5?
Well, I don't know where I had him, but my point is you can't say that a guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer, top 5 quarterback of all time is not going to be able to bounce back. That's my only point.
At 40?
Yeah, at 40. Brady did it. Come on. You think it's impossible? We already have an example. Right? Brady and Rodgers are 2 of the most unique quarterbacks that ever played the game.
TB12 took care of his body differently than Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers uses mushrooms. What's the difference? Whether you use mushrooms or whether you drink 100 gallons of water a day.
Yeah, what's the difference? Same thing, Mike. Same thing. Do we have to put a disclaimer out there for that one?
If it works for you, it works. My point, it works.
But look, that was done. Those questions were asked before this news that broke this morning. And if you missed it, Devin White not making the trip to Brazil. And now it's being reported by Jeff McClain that Nakobe Dean beat him out anyway, apparently. And then Albert Breer that they were thinking about trading him. Mike, listen to this. Devin White in his career has played 4,866 snaps at off-ball linebacker. The Philadelphia Eagles' current linebacker group outside of Devin White, Zach Bond has played 212. Ben Van Serman has played 50. Nakobe Dean has played a little over 200. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has played 0. That's the linebacking core. And then Oren Burks, who they cut and then brought back, has played 963, but clearly they didn't believe in him if they cut him.
So it's a clear answer. He's not Fangio's type of cat. Fangio has made judgments on people like his whole career as a defensive coordinator.
If we were worried about the linebacker position before, a lot of people thought, okay, well, at least Devin White is locked in as the starter, and now Devin White may not even be the starter.
Sometimes you learn about people. And this is a Fangio thing.
Yeah, which then, I've been hard on Howie Roseman. I did not like the fact that in the offseason that the only linebacker that they signed was Devin White. And now he didn't even crack the starting lineup.
That goes right to the general manager's office, doesn't it? Since you wanted to go to Dabrowski, knock him on the Dabrowski's door for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I said it yesterday.
Knock on Howie's door, but the linebacker?
I said it yesterday when we were talking about Nick Sirianni that if the defense isn't good enough this year, once again, it should be on Howie Roseman for not giving him enough personnel.
What's more important, a starting linebacker or a fifth starter?
Starting linebacker.
Let's go to Mitch in Phoenix. Mitch, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mitch.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mitch. How you doing?
114 tomorrow, 111 today. You tell me how you would.
Well, I think you ought to move. Yeah, you're starting to complain about the weather a little too much there. You went out there.
No. You're absolutely correct, sir.
Well, you moved to Vancouver or something. Yeah, I'll get to the great Northwest.
Vancouver's got a big homeless and drug problem.
I've got to go to Oregon.
Who?
Oregon.
Go to Oregon.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's talk some sports.
Yes, go ahead.
Does optimism win football games? The answer is absolutely no.
Yeah, so what's your point?
It doesn't
My
win?
point is,
Optimism of the fan base? Of course it doesn't win football games.
Yeah.
They're not calling plays.
correct. So
Okay.
we don't care who's optimistic and who's not.
But we care because if the fan base doesn't believe in this team, that's interesting. They presented the fan base with a team that is not that optimistic. The fan base about that to me is very telling.
Right. You still have your list in front of you?
Yeah,
Where do the Cardinals come in at?
the Cardinals. I think they're down on the list.
Well, yeah,
They're not. Yeah, they're 20. They're not in the top 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This guy Devin White that they picked up to be their middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the severity of his ankle is. Supposedly Nova was going to get hurt on the Eagles because they didn't start any of the starters. I don't know about his injury. I don't know about him. I don't know too much about him.
Yeah, well, he was a Pro Bowl guy, and he had a bad year last year. And was removed as a starter.
He needs to be on the plane with the rest of the guys.
All right, Mitch.
If he's hurt, you don't make the trip. I mean, they don't. That's not just specific to Devin White. They usually don't let the injured players make the trip.
Correct.
So I don't know what Mitch is talking about.
He's injured, but the other report is more telling to me.
It's just strange. In the preseason, Devin White played 28 snaps, and Nakobe Dean played over 50.
Yeah.
We never heard once about this, Mike. And now all of a sudden it's, Nakobe Dean was beating out Devin White.
Yeah.
I thought it was White or Baun. Or, excuse me, Dean or Baun, not Dean or White.
All right, let's go to Ish in Levittown. Troll or good question?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hello, Ish.
Hey, I just want to talk about the Devin White injury.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather them go young anyway with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Nakobe Dean. Devin White had a down year last year anyway. And, they just have to go young. And at this point, before the season started, it was Zach Bond that was supposed to be the leading candidate for linebacker.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. When they go down to Sao Paulo and go and play in Brazil. So I don't fear them having any issues. We always had linebacker issues for years, so it ain't nothing new.
Well, they don't value the position, but you can't be thin at it either. And it seems like if Devin White's on the outs, they're very thin there.
Yeah, I think Nakobe Dean's going to step up anyway. So,
okay, but somebody gets hurt, then what?
You go sign somebody off the street.
Well, that's the problem. They sign a lot of linebackers off the street.
Why don't they value that position? You think?
I don't know. I just think that the way they play defense anymore. But I always look at it like, man, a linebacker has to cover, and they never seem to. Why, Bill? Why don't they care about that?
It's just it's a franchise's mentality. They like to build along the offensive and defensive lines. And for whatever reason, he neglects the linebacker position. It's frustrating. We've been banging our head against the wall for years about this.
Yeah.
Can I get them Weezer tickets?
You have to answer a question correctly, then you have to qualify at the end. You know the rules.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That's all right, but I'm going to start off with an NFL football question for you. How's that grab you?
Okay.
Is that all right?
Quick. You said that your favorite band was what's your favorite band?
I didn't say what's my favorite band.
Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't know that.
I said I didn't like Weezer because they're a joke band.
I don't think that. I think Weezer's actually good. I think they're probably like
What's what the homies dissing my girl? Come on,
that's
man.
a good one.
Yeah. Every
word.
song is a joke.
No. Them and Mom's jeans.
What's Beverly Hills? That's where I want to be. Everything's a joke, man.
No, I
All right. Well, you like them. That's good. Here you go, Ish. Let's see if you can answer this question.
Okay.
The first white running back to lead the league in rushing since 1962 was who?
Played on the Redskins. John Riggle?
John Riggins?
Regans?
Incorrect.
Oh, that was a good guess, though, by Ish.
Ish went back in time further than he needed to.
Brian Piccolo?
Oh,
That's a great movie, by the way.
Christian McCaffrey.
CMC. Yeah, he overthought it.
You ever thought it went back to Rigo?
I love Brian Piccolo.
I'm gonna get. I want to see if there's any Weezer songs that aren't joke songs.
But to Ish's point about he wants him to go younger anyway at linebacker.
I love his segues. Bill, your segues are amazing.
Well, no, I want to address this point.
Like half a second after the Weezer comment, you go into
Because
it's hysterical to me. Go ahead.
because they tried this last year. They go into the season and they anoint Nakobe Dean as the starting linebacker. He ends up playing 182 snaps, gets hurt, wasn't playing that well anyway, and then they were trying to piecemeal the position the rest of the way, and they had to make or pick up Shaq Leonard, who clearly had lost his step. They go out this offseason, and the big signing is Devin White, and now how he's getting rid of him? I'm lost by this. I am very upset. If this linebacker position comes back to haunt this team, what happens? I mean, clearly Roseman's not losing his job. He shouldn't. He's been a great general manager. But are they ever going to change this mentality about how they address the linebacker position? Because they still shouldn't have let T.J. Edwards walk 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just, as I sit here today, we're supposed to be getting excited for Friday night, and now we get this news dropped on us that, our big linebacker free agent acquisition, we were trying to trade him before the cutdowns.
Don't worry, Zach Cunningham's still out there.
He's probably – I'm surprised he hasn't been brought back yet.
Ooh-wee, ooh,
I look just like Buddy Holly. You a Buddy Holly fan?
Oh, and you're Mary Tyler Moore.
And remember they were dressed like
what they say
Happy
about
Days?
it. I'm going to give you a joke Weezer lyric. And
let me see if I can guess it.
every day. No, every
hour?
every segment, every hour.
Let me think of another joke song by him. What's the other ones that he has? He's got the one.
Hash pipe.
Pink triangle on a sleeve.
Yeah, hash pipe.
I don't know that one. How's that?
Yes, you do. You know hash pipe.
I got to think about it.
Play hash pipe, Bray. Some hash pipe up here.
He's got to pull it up. Weezer. Now, you said that Ish was normally a troll. That was actually a decent call by Ish.
It was. I don't know what's going on with Ish. Sometimes,
And he was interested in the Weezer tickets, which is a surprise to you. Oh, I know this song. Yeah.
Yeah, am I feeling out of my mind?
I know this jam. Wait, does Buddy Holly... All right, Buddy Holly. Does Weezer sing Hip, Hip, Man? That song, too? That's not them, is it?
I don't know. Oh, come on and kick me. Come on, man.
We're giving away the entire concert right now.
Yeah. Who needs it?
You don't need the tickets. Just listen to the rest of the show.
All right, so, Bill, I want to get your expertise now as we go Eagles-Packers. Because, the Packers, hopefully, have solidified their run defense. That's what they're thinking in Green Bay. The edge rusher, Preston Smith. And talking about containing Jalen Hurts, who ripped them apart the last time these two teams played. He says Jalen is like the fastest chicken in the yard with no fence. It's going to be hard to contain him, but it's a task we set out to do. We may have to make sure we don't let him get comfortable. Don't let him have a big game again. You know, they got the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and Jeff Hafley has been preaching to them that they're going to be a very aggressive
Former
defense.
head coach at Boston College who leaves to become a defensive coordinator in the NFL.
We just don't, and you don't know what his defense is going to look like. And just like you don't know what Kellen Moore's offense is going to look like. This is an interesting matchup because you got a new offensive coordinator who's never had a mobile quarterback like Jalen going up against Jeff Hafley, who's never been a DC. I don't know what to expect.
Green Bay 28th in the league against the run last year, but they made some adjustments, and the same guy says that we have a great run scheme. We have a great defensive front, great coaches. The scheme we have is pretty great to help us to stop the run. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know
what the Eagles do. They're not going to run it anyway. They're going to pass.
Yeah, probably. We don't know. You don't know.
You think they're going to run the football, the Eagles, in this game?
I think Saquon will probably get 15 touches. That'll include some throws, though. But I expect him to get double-digit carries. You don't pay Saquon Barkley what you're paying him.
Double-digit carries meaning what? There's like 10, and then there's like 18.
Yeah, he probably gets 10 to 12 carries.
Okay.
And then another 3 to 5 catches a game. That's all I'm expecting for him to be. Somewhere between 15 to 18 touches every game, which I think makes sense. But Jalen's going to run. Kellen Moore has told us that they're going to utilize Jalen's leg. So he is going to utilize his leg. I don't think they're going to eliminate that. But you're right. They probably want to throw the ball more. But they have a decent secondary. They added Xavier McKinney from the Giants, who was the safety I wanted to see the Eagles at. I think he's a great, great safety. They still have Jair Alexander, who's pretty good. So we'll see.
All right. It is General Knowledge Wednesday, and Ray has to get a question as we go into the break. And at 11 o'clock hour, we're going to fire up some calls here for Weezer tickets. So, Ray, this is a very easy category. 3-letter answers. Ernesto Guevara, the Cuban revolutionary, what was his nickname?
I think I got you if you need it.
You got 3 lifelines. Ernesto Guevara.
Hey, Bill, let's open this up to get one ahead of the audience.
Are you going to go to Bill?
I'm going to Bill right away here.
I believe, being that it is 3 letters,
Yeah?
is the correct answer Che?
Che is correct. Che Guevara.
Thank you.
I didn't teach you that at Temple?
No.
No, never heard of Che Guevara? You went through 4 years' worth of a college education at Temple. You don't know who Che Guevara is?
No.
See, these kids these days are not getting taught right.
No.
Which Penn State class was that?
That's high school.
That was Bristol.
Okay, then why did you bring Bristol into
Elementary.
it?
Che Guevara, but he's a hero in Cuba, for crying out loud.
Yes. Cuban
610.
heroes, famous in the American education
That's
system.
amazing. Do you know who Che Guevara is?
You don't know it? You know what? You've
He
seen the
doesn't know who
shirts,
Che Guevara is. He doesn't even know what he did.
right? It's become
wait,
almost like a fashion shirt.
They teach
right?
history anymore in school? 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show. General Knowledge Wednesday. Let's kick up the phone calls back after this. Hour, Mike Missanelli Show, General Knowledge Wednesday. Very low number of participants so far, so we're hoping 11 o'clock hour generates some interest here. Ray, using a lifeline, got Che Guevara. Che Guevara. Bill got Che Guevara from Ray. So there you go. It's 1-0 against the audience.
1-0. I guess people don't want Fan Fest tickets or Weezer tickets.
Yeah, Fan Fest. If you don't like Weezer, you can score a pair of tickets to Fan Fest. I'm ashamed of myself for poo-pooing Weezer. That's my bad. It's a lot of people like Weezer. They're a fun band. Beverly Hills.
There you go.
Oh,
he's got it.
That's Hash Pipe.
I'm back to Hash Pipe here.
Did you ever see the movie The Other Guys?
No.
So I don't get this reference, but somebody on YouTube named Stacy says, Mike, you're like Mark Wahlberg from The Other Guys who learned the Weezer songs just to make fun of people who actually like Weezer songs. Because you do know all the lyrics.
Listen, I like music. Through the years, I've had very various different eras of music, but I like people that take it seriously. Now, I'm not saying they're not serious musicians because they are. I just like Hash Pipe lyric. Here's a Hash Pipe lyric. I can't help my boogies; they get out of control. now, come on, man. Seriously.
Yeah, they do.
I don't roll with that. But a lot of people love Weezer. They're a very popular band. They've been around for a long time.
They were big when I was in high school.
Big.
I think that was the Pinkerton album. I think that's what it was called.
I don't know. It's anyway. You score a pair of tickets to Fan Fest. We earlier in this show, the first question of General Knowledge was white running back. I want to test you since you're Mr. Football. I would like you to go no further back than the 80s.
Okay.
And come up with a list of 5 other white running backs other than Christian McCaffrey.
Ooh, not easy.
And these were like very efficient, well-known running backs.
All right, I'm going to go Mike Allstott.
Boom.
That may be where the list ends. Hold on.
Cleveland Browns.
Mike Allstott.
Cleveland Browns.
Peyton Hillis.
There you go. Boom.
That's 2.
Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers. White running back. I don't know it.
Merrill Hodge.
Oh, I hate Merrill Hodge. Is he still on ESPN?
No. San Francisco 49ers. Heyday of Joe Money.
We're talking about Christian McCaffrey still or no?
No.
Oh.
Before that.
Wait, Roger Craig wasn't white.
No. He was light complected.
Yeah.
He wasn't white.
There was a white running back with Joe Montana.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm at a loss, man.
Tom Rathman.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
And Chicago Bears in their heyday and a Penn Stater.
See, you're going back. I was born in 83.
That doesn't matter. You know about that great Chicago Bears team. They won a freaking Super Bowl.
With Jim McMahon?
Correct. Buddy Ryan, defensive coordinator.
I know.
Come on, man.
I used to play him on Tecmo Bowl, too.
Willie Gault.
I knew it was Willie Gault.
No, it's not Willie Gault. He's the wide receiver.
Oh.
He's not white.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What's wrong with you?
I used to play Tecmo Bowl with Willie Gault. I don't know who the running back is.
Matt Suey. Matt Suey at a Penn State.
Not to be mistaken for Chop Suey. Right. That's a good song. Chop Suey.
That's a good song.
Oh, what about Danny Woodhead?
Yeah, he was all right. He wasn't a dominant. He's kind of like a.
Yeah.
These guys carried the football a lot back then. Peyton Hillis was a monster.
Peyton Hillis was a beast, man. So was Austin.
Running backs anymore. They're all gone. You don't have monster running backs anymore.
No, you don't. Not as much as you used to.
Leonard Fournette, when he came in, he's going to, he had short shelf life.
He did, but helped win the Super Bowl for the Bucs.
All right, so let's look at the Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles as we zero in. By the way, tomorrow, obviously, Charles Barkley will be on the show tomorrow. Charles will co-host the show. They're thinking of putting this in a bigger venue.
Wait, you're moving?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They're discussing.
Oh, you may go to our performance studio.
Performance studio.
With a live studio audience. Are we going to have canned laughs too?
Live studio. I don't even know what the performance studio is.
It's next
I'm new here.
It's through the kitchen. You've seen it.
Through the kitchen?
Through the kitchen.
There's a chance you might not have.
I have never seen it. I have never seen the performance studio.
You'll be up on a stage.
I don't even know what the performance studio is.
Well, if it's in the performance studio, I may come and boo from the crowd.
Well, who's the crowd going to be?
They open it up to
salespeople?
Yeah, people come and sit, right? That's what they did.
People will come in, watch, sit, say hi. I'll be in here.
Yeah, but
you still are back here.
I'm still here,
What's it do to our YouTube thing?
Oh, they can get a camera there.
We did. Andrew DeCecco and I did a live YouTube show from there, so they could do it. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Listen, I'm easy. Whatever you want to do.
Oh, yeah. That's what everyone says. Mike Missanelli's easy.
I am.
That's the moniker you have.
You want to do that? All right, knock yourself out. I don't know if Charles wants to be on a performance stage,
Might be a little more familiar to him. It's basically like a studio set.
So we'll recreate. I tell him we recreated the TNT effect.
There we go.
And he'll buy right into it.
We've got NBA rights.
He's used that kind of attention anyway.
No, I'll show you. It's right through the kitchen. It's a nice studio, performance studio.
Let's get to the text. All right, we had text. You were complaining early in the 10 o'clock hour. You went right to last night. They come back. They win. Kyle Schwarber has 5 hits and 3 bombs, and you're complaining about Dave Dombrowski, which is doesn't make any bit of sense to me. So we had a text right away complaining about you complaining.
Yes, Joey in Downingtown saying, tell Karen Bill to stop complaining. He complains when we win and when we lose.
Okay, first of all, it's not a complaint as much as it is an observation that it's okay to say he's a good general manager and he should have done more to the rotation.
Let me ask you a question. When you look around baseball, give me Bill's list of 1 to 5 starters that everybody has.
Okay.
Go ahead, give me the list.
No.
Give me the contenders list. Give me the Dodgers rotation and tell me where they're deeper because they have a 5th starter.
Here's the difference, though. I understand your point, but the difference is it became very clear with this Phillies team that you didn't have any option to roll out. Taijuan Walker was not an option. Tyler Phillips is not an option. Colby Allard, you've said this. Eventually, he's going to start hitting.
But nobody has it, Bill. That's my point. You're assuming that everybody else has it. Nobody else has 1 to 5. Everybody else struggles to fill out a rotation.
But at the deadline, you also don't know what you have in Ranger. You know what's going on with your 5th starter. I just felt like he should have done something to upgrade the rotation a little bit. And I'm not the only one. I mean, you could scroll Twitter. There are people who agree with me, and I would really like some of our listeners to support this. And I'm not complaining. They're still a very good team, obviously. They're still in first place. They're going to win the NL East. They're going to get a shot at going to the World Series. But I just look at the general manager on a team with World Series aspirations. You do everything you can to give yourself the best chance.
The Brewers went out and got Aaron Savali. That's who they got. My point is, there's no nice ripe peach that you're going to pluck off a tree. They're not available. If you're a good pitcher, your team is not going to give you away unless you give them substantial return. So you're down to the Aaron Savales of the world and the Kobe Allards of the world.
All I wanted to see was you go all in. Like, I don't think Austin Hayes is the best guy in left field.
You don't go all in when you already have a team that you think can get to the World Series. There's no reason to go all in and then rip up your whatever prospects you have, and they don't have a lot. They've got 3 prospects. They've got the center fielder, they've got the shortstop, and they've got a pitcher that we don't even know can pitch yet.
The definition of a prospect is that it is a project. It's projected out.
And if you have a plethora of them, you can afford to give away people. They don't. 610-632-097. Back with your calls after this. Show, general knowledge, Wednesday, can you beat Ray? Is Ray's up 1-0, but Ray didn't answer the question correctly. It was his lifeline that answered the question. So the audience now is behind. There's another major issue that I want to discuss here. This is like, you talk about business being cutthroat. All right, so the Sixers are using all kinds of resources and study plans and such and architects to come up with this plan to turn Philly's fashion district into this brand new arena with restaurants and the whole bit to revitalize that area. So here comes Comcast Spectacor through the side door with an offer to turn that district into a biomedical hub. Now, who on earth is going to impose a biomedical hub? Nobody can oppose that. People trying to tell you certainly, biomedical hub, come right in. It's amazing.
Comcast Spectacor, man.
How about that, pulling a fast one? In other words, they go, okay, so now we presented a better plan. It's going to be more acceptable to people. It's time for you to join us in our redevelopment down at the South Philly stadiums.
Yeah, they take away the location for the Sixers.
Well, the Sixers, out of spite, will go, yeah, screw you. We're going to Camden.
Yeah, we're going
and who loses? The fans.
Yeah, we're going to Camden, and we're getting the $400 million in tax credits.
Exactly. Now, how do you turn down a deal like that, right? The Sixers, it's a win-win for the Sixers to do that. It's not a win-win for them to go join Comcast Spectacor, who just screwed them. They've been fighting Comcast Spectacor for years, right? They want to get away from them. And now Comcast Spectacor gives them an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, come join us because we get this biomedical hub that they're going to accept more than your arena. It's amazingly cutthroat. And here's the bottom line. You want to drive? Well, it's perfect for you.
Yeah, it's close.
All you Cherry Hill dwellers. It's perfect.
Very close for me.
Perfect for you. But it's a pain in the butt. The Philadelphia suburbs, way deep into the suburbs. Now you got to go all the way and get to the bridge and get. It's terribly inconvenient for a lot of the fan base.
It is, but there are a lot of fans in Jersey. And could this, if the Sixers move to Camden, could this help develop the Camden waterfront?
Of course it will.
So I'm not opposed to it.
But should the Sixers care about developing the Camden waterfront, or they care more about their fan base?
Well, they got their practice facility over in Camden.
What practice facility? Nobody has to go over there. You're asking people to come to Camden to see your team from the Philadelphia suburbs.
Yeah, from the Philadelphia suburbs, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But you're right. There's no way. If Comcast Spectacor comes in, steals away the location for the new Sixers arena, there's no way the Sixers are going to turn around and say, yeah, okay, we'll come join you back down in South Philly. They're going to Camden.
The Sixers have such an uphill climb to get this thing done in the first place. Here comes the solution. Oh, my God. We're creating a place where people come every day to have a job. We don't have, 100 events. This is a full-time thing. Who's going to say no to that? What a slick move.
Yeah, it was pretty slick.
What a slick, cutthroat move by Comcast Spectacor. Plus, the guy who runs Comcast Spectacor now has been in the medical field.
Yeah,
he was in the health planning field, Hilferty.
You're right, and they've talked to Thomas Jefferson about it. It's interesting. Well, not Thomas Jefferson, the former president.
Biomedical hub.
Biomedical.
And the Sixers, they get Ugats.
Ugats. Ray, that means nothing.
Thank you.
The literal translation may be worse.
Since you've never seen The Sopranos, they only say it 100 times an episode.
Ugats.
Let's go back to the text board. Text saying that the people are smarter than Ray.
We're getting a text. You had challenged another 24-year-old to come out of the woodworks and challenge me to just a battle of wits here. And Justin from Hatboro said, I hereby challenge Ray Dunn. I believe I am a smarter 24-year-old than him, although he's probably scared to lose and doesn't want the smoke.
Doesn't want the smoke. Ray's not afraid of it.
Ray, you got this guy that comes after you on these tweets, don't you? There's one guy that comes after you.
Yeah, that was last week. I haven't heard since.
Bill.
No, there's a guy on YouTube that comes after you.
Guy on YouTube.
MBD,
you know who it is.
Yeah, no.
MBD is his name?
It's Alphabet Soup. His name is a lot longer than MBD, but...
What did MBD say, Bill?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he came after you earlier in the show. He said you look like the before picture on a Bowflex commercial.
That's pretty funny. I got to give the guy credit for that one.
He's too good.
He is. And then people yelled at him. They're like, it's only an hour into the show. He's like, you're right. I'll keep it in the holster.
I don't know what he does for a living, but his part-time job of just roasting me every day is fantastic.
So you don't know this guy. There's no personal connection.
The first time I was on YouTube was we did Saturday mornings. It was Andrew and Pat, and he would just comment, oh, looks like Prince Harry's producing today's show. Oh, looks like Carson Wentz is producing today's show. He would just do lookalikes for me. And then it started to get more and more tactical in his approach of taking me down, and it's gone on now for almost 2 years.
He is pretty good.
He is really good at it.
Let's go to the phone. Zach and Manayunk. What's up, Zach?
Oh, Mike.
Hello, Zach.
Oh, let me get my radio down. How are you guys?
Good, man. Take off speaker.
Hello?
Yeah, take us off speaker. We get an echo here. You're on speakerphone? All right. Let's clear him up so we get the rules down. Ted and Fish down. Ted, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Mikey Miss.
What's up, Ted?
Well.
How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just listening, and you brought up a couple of topics that I think about quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is the stadium.
Yes.
I always knew that if they weren't approved for downtown, that they were going to take that over the river to Camden, which I think is a horrible idea because the city would lose out on so much.
Yes.
And but I have a solution.
Now the governor is involved in this. By the way, he says there's no way the Sixers are going to get. They're going to lose the Sixers. So, Governor Shapiro, who's a big Sixer fan, by the way.
Okay, I approve of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the support we can get. But along the river, Delaware River, if you Google it and take a peek, between Port Richmond and Fishtown, there's miles of unoccupied territory, which is right by 95. It has the potential to be a city on its own. And I think it'll keep the money still flowing in Philadelphia, create the jobs that are needed, and it would be an incredible vitalization of the waterfront. I think they should put in Port Richmond, in my opinion.
I don't think they would do that since they spend so much resources on this one area that they think is going to benefit them to the max. I don't think that they would change course here as far as where they want to put it in Philadelphia.
Hey, as long as it hits somebody's ears, that idea, who knows what could happen.
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
Also, the long-distance travel.
That's where they should put the parking lot. They put a parking lot there, and then you get the transportation into the stadium right there on Market Street in the Fashion District. That was my plan.
Well done.
Yeah,
I like it.
There you go.
And as far as the Eagles traveling, I've always noticed over the years when teams do travel either to Europe, South America, what have you, they're always lacking something. It's like their overall performance fails. It's kind of like they're stripped of their God-given talents. And it's not because their talent's not there. I just think the travel just hinders them in a way.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. It's a good point. But the Packers have to do the same thing. So, all right, let me give you a general knowledge question because this is for a pair of tickets to FanFest and also if you qualify for the Weezer tickets if you get it correct.
Okay.
So here is your question from the general knowledge category.
Hit me.
What is the name of Mickey Mouse's pet dog?
Pluto.
Correct.
Oh, that's a softball.
That? Oh, what? Softball.
That was more of a meatball than Tyler Phillips
I don't know. A lot of
pitches
people
last
would
night.
say Goofy.
No.
Yeah, no, I think I've asked this question before. Somebody said Goofy. Goofy's in play? You don't know what Goofy is. What is Goofy?
Yeah, he's like a weird dog. But he's not Mickey's dog.
Well, whose dog is he? What is he, just a rando?
Yeah, he's like he's the
It's a
equivalent of
mouse having a dog.
I guess the whole thing's weird.
It's all kind of strange.
Did you know it was Pluto?
Much. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So that was what question you would have answered.
Yeah, it's okay, though. No.
All right, well, here's your question.
Oh, no.
This goes right before the break, too. This is a football question, though, right?
Oh, good.
Oh, boy, these are so easy. This is like a giveaway. I can't give you this question.
You want to do it after the break then?
Yeah, let's do it after the
All
break.
right, sounds
I got to find one at least as challenging for you. 610-632-0975. The audience won. Ray won. Back after this. We getting some texts about Goofy? Who's Goofy?
Multiple
Goofy?
people. Multiple people want to check in
people?
and let us know that Goofy is a cow, not a dog.
Goofy's a cow?
That's according to 2 texters, back to back, too. This was very, very passionate texting from people.
Hold on. According to Google, no, Goofy is not a cow. Goofy is
not a cow?
It says he's a Disney cartoon character who is more like a canine, but not explicitly a dog.
It says he's a tall anthropomorphic dog who typically wears a turtleneck and vest with pants, shoes, and white gloves.
It's not a cow.
Where did he get cow?
I don't know. This is what two people
He's
said.
got long ears.
Back-to-back texts. Oh,
He's not a cow.
They let me go to air with this and then came back with a follow-up text. Never mind. That's bad info.
Anthropomorphic dog, whatever that means.
Going to text in with answers to our questions. Answer them right. Please.
All right. Well, I thought people would say Goofy instead of Pluto because, they're confused. It's gender confusion.
I'm getting more information about Goofy here. So Goofy first appeared in 1932 as Dippy Dog. So clearly he's a dog.
There you go. It's just a cartoon dog, drawn with accentuating features.
There was a whole story written last month about this in E! News.
There you go.
Yeah, he's not a cow.
Okay. These football questions are so ridiculously easy, I may have to change the category. But let me give Ray a fair shot at answering one of them. The USC quarterback selected with the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
I'm not going to hear.
Ray's not going to get this one.
All right. Number 1 overall pick, USC quarterback. Matt Leinart?
Oh, my God, Ray.
Incorrect.
I didn't know.
You want to tell him, Bill? You want to tell him? You know, Bill?
It's Caleb, right?
No, it's not. You would have wasted a lifeline.
Oh, wait, it's not Caleb. You talking about Carson Palmer?
It's Carson Palmer.
Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't think of Palmer.
Wait, where did Caleb Williams go to college now?
He went to USC, you're right. But he started out at, I see, that's
why I'm saying Caleb Williams.
Yeah, you're technically right.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't believe he didn't get it.
He played, how many years did he play at USC? Did he
1.
play 1 year?
It doesn't
Lincoln
matter.
Riley, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's the first overall pick out of USC.
All right.
And Carson Palmer.
But the answer is Carson Palmer, according to
I stopped.
They didn't update it, apparently.
I almost stopped gambling when that playoff run. I was all in on Cincinnati. Carson Palmer throws a touchdown and then tears his ACL. Do you remember that?
Yep. Avalon Bryan is checking in. What's that, AB?
Mike,
How
come
are
on. You gotta update these questions. If we're gonna run Trivia Tuesday, he's spot on.
Well, he got it wrong anyway. What's the difference?
Ray got it wrong. I did not get it wrong.
Yeah.
Bill didn't get it wrong.
Well, Bill
Listen,
doesn't count. He wasn't selected for a lifeline.
All right, fair enough. Listen, I'm enjoying the show. It's a great alternative. I miss my boy, but we'll talk about that later. But it's good to hear you back. But, Mike, I got a couple things. Let me get the Eagles' point first, and I got a small bone.
Go ahead.
With this linebacker situation, with White now injured, is this really an injury situation? Do you believe them when they say the Kobe Dean had the green dot? And, Tampa seemed like they were done with White the end of last season. So are we picking up someone else's trash, or is this just one of those coincidences?
Well, it's a really good question. The way I think of that, like, he's not going on this trip. Is that because maybe they don't want to get him hurt and they have a trade in the works or whatever? It's weird that you get that information that they wanted to trade him. Because the first couple weeks of camp, you remember, he was getting good reviews.
Yeah.
So so I'm thinking the more Fangio saw him, the more he said he's not my type of guy. Because he's declarative like that, Fangio. It's like, no, you can't play for me.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I'd rather him know what he needs as opposed to some of these other guys that are just throwing players out there and trying to figure it out. If he's got a system in place, which he does, I can appreciate that, but I just wonder if we were garbage picking with.
Well, I look for Ben Van Sumeren to be activated, I guess, for this game, right?
Or Aaron Burks from San Francisco.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though, with Devin White. They signed him on a prove-it deal. So if Devin White's not going to play, he's not going to be happy with this franchise because he needs to earn his next contract. They only signed him on a one-year deal. This is his opportunity to get paid after this season. He's not going to be happy riding the bench. He's not going to be quiet.
Which begs the question, why not just cut him then? Because trading him at this point is a tough proposition. You're not going to get much. You're a guy to cut him loose if you don't want him.
Yeah. All right. What's your bone?
Mike, you can't praise Che Guevara. He was a Marxist who tortured people. There's nothing heroic
I didn't praise him. I said he's praised in Cuba. He was a revolutionary who got rid of the corrupt Batista regime. He was a right-hand man for Castro.
Yeah, but the regime he brought down there, I don't know that he's praised as opposed to those people.
He's totally praised. He's considered a hero in Cuba.
By the government-run propaganda.
Well, okay, but, at the time when they took over, it was American capitalism that was ruining Cuba. There was mob involvement. Come on, man.
I'm not going to call you Wokenelli, but you're walking that line there, Mike.
What does that mean? What is woke? How does woke come in here? I'm not wearing Che Guevara T-shirts. I'm just telling you how he's perceived.
No, you kind of said.
Oh, stop with your nonsense. Do you want a question? 3-letter question?
I'd love one. I just wouldn't frame him as a hero. That's all.
Woke. We'll throw woke at me. I'll woke you. All right, here we go. 3-letter answers. Avalon Brian. What is the French word for yes?
Oui.
How do you spell it?
O-U-I.
Correct. Hold on a second.
I'm impressed. I didn't think he was going to be able to spell it.
Really? Oui?
Oui.
That's pretty good. All right, so it's 2-1 now, right?
It is 2-1, Ray. This is a big one here.
2-1. So here we go with Ray. All right, Ray, back to the general knowledge question. Oh, my God. They're so difficult. He's got no shot to get any of these. What type of eyewear is associated with old rich people and also Mr. Peanut?
The monocle?
Correct. Oh, my God.
Wow.
An upset. He gets it. A monocle. We are tied.
But yet he doesn't know that Caleb Williams is number 1 in the draft. Ray!
My bad, man. I'm sorry. I'm past the draft. It's time for the season.
All right.
Draft content's gone.
Good point.
The Carson Palmer one was a massive miss on my part.
So we got a 2-2 tie going right now.
We do. All right. 610-632-0975. Let me just educate Avalon Bryant. I'm not a member of the Castro regime, right? I wasn't part of the revolution that turned over Cuba, right? But here's what it says about Che Guevara. He was an Argentine Marxist revolutionary, but he's also a physician, author, diplomat, and military theorist. Major figure of the Cuban Revolution, his stylized visage has become a ubiquitous countercultural symbol of rebellion and global insignia in popular culture. As a young medical student, Guevara traveled throughout South America and was appalled by the poverty, hunger, and disease he witnessed. His burgeoning desire to help overturn what he saw as the capitalist exploitation of Latin America by the United States prompted his involvement in social reforms. That's why he's considered a hero. He's not my hero.
You are a Rage Against the Machine fan, though. Didn't they use his image?
I love Rage Against the Machine.
Don't they use his image on some stuff?
I love people that stand up and go, screw you. You're wrong. That's why I love Rage.
Yeah, I just remember. Don't they use his logo or use his face or something?
They might. I don't know.
That's where I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
See, he's more of a pop culture in my lifetime, like seeing his face on T-shirts and stuff.
After
who he really
the
was.
revolution, he played key roles in the new government. reviewing appeals and firing squads for those convicted as war criminals, instituting land reform, spearheading a successful nationwide literacy campaign. What do you want from me? I'm
I feel
woke.
like we're really glossing over
woke
the
because the
monocle
answer to the
there.
question was Che Guevara.
Ray's upset that we're not promoting his monocle answer. He just said.
That was-
Nice job, Ray.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Monocle. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm into more intellectual pursuits here.
Oh, I'd like the dumbed down monocle.
Dom want to sell. Dom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dom.
Boys, how we doing today?
Hello, Dom.
How you doing, Mike?
Good.
I'm watching the Phillies game last night, and thank God they pulled it out because I was steaming mad at a lot of the things that Rob Thompson did in-game tactically, and I was ready to call in today and rip him. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pull myself back. I'm going to enjoy the win. I'm going to enjoy how they fought back, and I'm just going to be calm about it because I think that's where I need to be for the remaining part of the season. However, I do think they need to rest Harper for at least a week. The man is too banged up right now, and he looks like a shell of himself. And I want a healthy Bryce Harper for the playoffs.
You want to? You want to rest them against Milwaukee?
It's not ideal. I'm not saying it's ideal, and we'll probably end up losing ground and not get that bye,
the problem is he's hitting. He's just not hitting home runs. So
What
you
do we
run
want?
the risk of taking his bat out of the lineup.
Yeah, but you could shut him down right now, and he could come back August 16th against Milwaukee. Why not? Why not put him on the 10-day right now? I'm with you, Dom.
Yeah, I just think I need Bryce Harper healthy for the playoffs. If he goes in to the playoffs doing what he's doing, he's not going to be a threat, and everybody knows it. And he's not going to be the power threat that we need in the middle of that lineup.
Listen, he's wearing that brace now, right? And I can't imagine. I don't know his medical. I haven't seen his chart. I can't imagine that that's not related to that surgery. He keeps saying it's not related. I mean, he's wearing the same damn brace. The weakness in that elbow has to be related.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's just a little too banged up right now, and he's never going to admit it. And this is one of the things where I think Thompson should get a little criticism. I know he's.
All right, well, why did you want to criticism in general? Why did you want to criticize him? Because you and Bill are members of the same club here.
I mean, I've got 3 years of watching Thompson now, and I think just tactically in games things he does.
Like what?
He trusts,
like what?
Well,
Give me a specific.
All right, last night in the eighth inning when Harper got a single and Weston Wilson got a walk, he didn't bunt Stott, and he didn't have Wilson and Harper go for second and third. And Martian, or I think it was Stott ended up hitting a double play and got 2 outs in an inning where you could have taken the lead in the eighth. You didn't need Schwarber in the ninth. Tactically, I thought that was a mistake, and I know bunting is not a part of the game anymore, and home runs are a big thing. But I still think Stott should have bunted them over to second and third, and then have Real Muto come up with second and third, and then he could have won the game there.
Okay, I can't argue with that. Maybe that would have been the fundamental move. I don't see many managers bunting when you have RBI guys up. You know, Stott's just as easily could hit a ball gap and score 2 runs. So to give up an out, managers just don't like to give up outs anymore.
I get it, and listen, I'm a little bit old school when it comes to that, and I understand that's not the way the game is played. I still think it has its place because you played the game, like when you get a runner on second and third, that pitcher's sphincter tightens up just a little bit more.
I get it. You know, it's not a bad argument. All right, Dom, general knowledge question for you.
Sure.
Okay. Now it's tied. We're tied, 2-2. So here is the question for you. In what building did Quasimodo live?
What?
Come on, Dom.
What building did Quasimodo? Bill is a Catholic.
Notre Dame, right?
What is you got to say the full name of the building.
Full name. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Day.
Come on. It's in Paris.
You just gave away the answer.
What team are you playing for?
This is my buddy. Dom's my golf buddy.
Dom came up small.
It's the Cathedral of Notre Dame.
Notre Dame de Paris.
Golf buddy. All right, I see how it is.
Yeah, Dom's my golf buddy.
There was an intellectual discussion between Bobby Bacala and Tony at Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it funny? Yeah, the fullback of Notre Dame.
Quasimodo. Hunchback.
Yeah, he's the fullback and the hunchback. And then he goes, it's interesting, though, isn't it?
Bobby Bacala was a lunkhead.
I loved Bacala. He was great with his trains.
Will in Levittown. Will, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Will.
Mike, what's going on?
What's up, Will? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. That previous caller just stole my thunder about Bryce Harper.
Oh.
And I see him laboring game to game, and it's just, I know it's tough to take him out
He took
of the
a couple
lineup,
swings last night that looked very uncomfortable, but they did put him out there. Like, he's not a guy that's going to come out of a game. So sometimes you got to make a value
you're
judgment.
You're not going to get an honest answer out of him if he's really.
No, you're
really
right.
hurt.
You're right. You got to say, okay, I'm shutting you down. Just like that Sunday when they shut him down, you're not going to play. You're not going to pinch hit.
Do you think you wait till Bohm comes back and maybe put Bohm at first for a couple games? Not that Sosa's the ideal option.
Yeah, I guess that's what they would have to do.
But he could do. Clemens can play first, can he?
Yeah, he can play first.
See, I just think if they do it now, he would be back in time for the Mets and the Brewers. And you got easy opponents: Blue Jays, Marlins, Rays.
Yeah, they may decide to do that. I mean, I don't know. He looks. It's
miserable.
funny though, but he's hitting the ball hard when he hits it. Like his exit velocity is still pretty good. He's just not lifting the ball out, probably because he's not capable of it. But his bat is still important in that lineup, in that spot.
The way he dropped that bat
since like August 9th.
I get it. He's not hitting home runs, but he's hitting. So, I don't know if you take him out of the lineup. Phillies made a couple moves, by the way. Tyler Phillips was optioned, the poor kid. I don't think he's long for this organization, unfortunately. And then Nick Nelson has been called up, a relief pitcher. So they may decide to go with a bullpen game here.
Don't get me started.
As long as it's not Tawan Walker.
Yeah, well, he's going to be part of a bullpen game. I mean, he looked all right last night.
He gave up 3.
Yeah, but you have to judge by a different standard.
Yeah, he's on a different level.
Yeah. All right, Will, let's get a general knowledge question in here for you. This is the NFL football question. Wow, these are just easy. Outspoken cornerback who led the Seahawks to a 43-8 Super Bowl victory.
Oh.
Year was 2014.
This is easy.
I could see his face. He gave that interview.
Correct.
Wow.
Let's see. Can we give it for seeing his face? Can we give him the correct answer?
No, he's done. He's done.
Oh, you're out. Uh-oh.
Richard Sherman.
That is correct. Richard Sherman.
Now, Ray gets 2 questions. We went
Ray
2.
Gets 2 questions?
Yeah, we went 2. We gave Dom and that last caller. Both got it wrong. So Ray gets 2 questions when we come back.
All right. Ray, when you come back, you get 2 questions. Now, let me ask you a question. When in your high school, what high school did you go to?
Spring Ford.
When you went to Spring Ford and you went to Temple, were you taught anything about the Vietnam War?
And that was at the end of, I think, junior or senior year.
So you were taught?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real case of summer by that point.
All right. I just, get your mind zeroed in on that.
Okay.
610-632-0975. Coming up is also the news at noon. Back after this. Time. How's everybody doing? Lunchtime. Maybe planning your lunch. Hope early. You're listening to the show on General Knowledge Wednesday, where we have a deadlock, and the prize, of course, is pretty substantial. First of all, you get any question correct, you get a pair of tickets to Fanatic World Famous Fan Fest coming up in September, late September. But you also qualify for a pair of tickets to see world famous rock band Weezer.
One of Mike's favorites.
One of my favorite bands, Weezer. You will be selected at random. Of all the people that get the question correctly, you'll be selected at random at the end of the show for Weezer tickets, which is, it's a nice date night. Take the wife. A very unintrusive rock band.
It's a great date night. And speaking of FanFest, Mike, I got to remind everybody that, first of all, it's in partnership with FanDuel, Saturday, September 28th at Xfinity Live. You can also get tickets during our next online ticket raid at 975thefanatic.com this Friday, September 6th, during the best show ever at 3:30 p.m. as they get ready for the Birds opener in Brazil and lead you into the Birds Insider pregame show, which we'll be broadcasting live from Xfinity Live, brought to you all by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Nicely done. Tomorrow, Charles Barkley will be co-hosting a show with me. If you have any particular question that you've always wanted to ask Charles, I mean, even if it's a current question, because he's been in the news a lot with the TNT stuff, just email me, mikemiss@bbgi.com, or you can hit me up on my Twitter, which is mikemiss25. But for right now, it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, Ray, what do we have today for the news at noon?
All right, we got an NBA podcast. We've got LeBron's son with an outrageous top 5 list, and we've got some umpire drama out there in Chicago. But we're going to start with the NBA podcast, The Roommate Show, which is hosted by Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. Had Mark Cuban on this week, and Mark Cuban went into a lot of things about NBA ownership, but the most notable thing that he got into is still bitter feelings about the 2006 NBA Finals. Crazy, it's been nearly 20 years since that happened. They got their revenge, yet Mark Cuban still harboring feelings about this one.
Wayne Wade starts driving to the hoop, every little touch, 2 shots. He literally, multiple games, shot more free throws than our entire team. And that was it, man. And it was painful. And, I never got fined for it but they did officiating in terms of picking the finals refs. They did it a lot differently back then. It was a lot of just who had the most seniority. And that didn't mean they were the best refs. And, not a good series for us officiating wise, but it's what it is. I can't believe it's been this long since then.
In that same podcast, because I listened to that podcast, they got into it a little bit about that contract snafu that enabled them to trade Jalen signed with the Knicks. And Jalen pressed him on it. Jalen's and Cuban wound up apologizing to Jalen Brunson, who Cuban had said, well, once the parents got involved. So he threw Rick Brunson and his wife under the bus.
Really?
In that whole process. And Jalen brought it up and said, that was very hurtful. And so Cuban apologized to him.
Yeah, I mean, Cuban is apologizing to him, but really, I'm sure Dallas would love to still have Brunson.
Yeah.
So Cuban messed up with that one.
Very clear where the information comes from when it came to the Mavericks while Cuban was running them. If he's apologizing directly there.
Yeah, exactly. So what loss are you convinced that you'll never be over? I said so many times, I have to go back to when I was actually a kid fan here. When I became a journalist, I changed a little bit. So, we can all look at 2011 when the Phillies lost, and we can all look at 2000 when they lost to Tampa Bay, or 2002, and the last game at the Vet. But the one that haunts me as a fan when I was a kid, I was a monster Sixer fan in '77 when they lost to the Portland Trailblazers. I couldn't believe it.
That's yours?
I was in college, man. I'm going, they're up 2-0. This is a team with George McGinnis and Julius Erving, for crying out loud. How's it possible?
Yeah, if I go back to when I was a kid, and I've said this one before too, I was obsessed with the Flyers as a kid. I got to go back to '97. Stanley Cup Finals. I thought they were a better team than the Red Wings. It was going to be finally our year. Eric Lindros, Ron Hextall. And then they get swept. That one was a gut punch.
Choking situation.
2011. The one that you just brought up there is the one I don't think.
Oh, yeah, it's crust. Come on, you lose to the Cardinals, and that's why I like when they lost to Arizona. I go, it reminds me of the Cardinals, for crying out loud.
That one's going to be up there too for I think myself and a lot of people. But just listening to Mark Cuban go over that, I don't think he's ever getting past that one.
No.
All right, Bryce James,
Younger son.
yes,
Of LeBron. And younger brother of Bronny.
I got to be honest, I had to Google who Bryce James was.
Really?
I didn't know that was his other son.
This is worse than any of the Bronny James discussion we've had over the last year. He was asked to give his top 5 all-time players. This is the youngest perspective you will hear on the show today.
Be a top 5 NBA players of all time. LeBron, MJ, 2, okay. Kobe, okay, 3. All right, here we go. Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. Whoa, okay, that's fair. Personal top 5, all right.
At least he went MJ, Kobe. Russell.
Yeah.
Wait, who else did? Russell Westbrook,
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Who else?
That was it.
That was his 4-5.
Russell
LeBron,
Westbrook and Carmelo.
MJ, Kobe, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony.
It's only 4.
No, it's 5.
LeBron. He said.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. That's not bad for a kid. What is he supposed to say?
Russell Westbrook?
Well, it's his frame of reference. You know, like it's kind of in his wheelhouse when Russell was dominating.
All right, Ray, I want you to remember this. When you say something that Mike goes at you, because you're only 24, he's saying that's his frame of reference.
Yeah, I mean,
how could you say, if you know anything about basketball, how could you say Russell Westbrook or Carmelo Anthony are in the top 5?
No, that's what I mean. Like, to him, those guys were dominant players. He's not wrong about them being dominant players in his wheelhouse.
Now,
right?
I guess. Do you think it's weird he doesn't call him dad? Calls him LeBron?
LeBron doesn't want him to call him dad.
Well, he doesn't want Bronny.
Oh, Bronny, yeah.
There was an article that Bronny's not going to be able to call his dad. He's going to have to call him LeBron or 2-3.
LeBron and MJ and Kobe is, I'll give the kid credit that he went there. Well, he had to go with his dad, but to go MJ and Kobe, he's probably gotten that from his dad.
Yeah, I guess. I just mean in your
Westbrook-
frame of life. Like, Westbrook doesn't even crack the top 5 I've seen in my life.
Not for you, and you're a 24-year-old. I get it. But for him, growing up in basketball and seeing that Westbrook was a dominant player on both sides, like, I can see that.
How old is this kid? Oh, he's 17.
Yeah, he's
17.
17-year-old kid. You know, I give the kid a break.
All right.
Got a lot of pressure.
Mike is getting so nice.
Got a lot of pressure on him, that kid.
All right. We'll move past it. We'll go to what happened yesterday after the White Sox game.
Hysterical, because I saw this press conference.
Isaac Ian getting after umpire Hunter Wendelstedt, who was coming under fire after last game because he did expand the strike zone. There is absolutely no way to justify what he was calling strikes in that game. It was a 9-0 game, one of the worst teams in baseball. All right, fine. You want the game to be over? Ian took exception to it and then just went right after him. First up, we'll get with the original conversation and then the final personal attack he took.
Yeah, let's give you frame of reference, because Andrew Benintendi was at the plate. He called a high pitch for a strike, and he struck him out on a pitch that was a foot outside. So, like, there's one thing about wanting to get the game over with, and you're in a White Sox game, but be a freaking professional. So here, there
were ejections. Yeah.
So Grady Sizemore got ejected, and then Benintendi got ejected for questioning a pitch that was foot outside. And I don't want to punch the umpire because he came back at the manager and F-bombed him, and like came after. Like, at that point, a punch is in order for the manager to just deck him and get away with it, because he exacerbated it.
You're on the same wavelength here.
Yes,
because that's what was asked for.
Yeah, here's Ozzie Guillen on the postgame show with Frank Thomas. Can you imagine those two guys are doing a postgame show for this Drek team? You got to be kidding me.
Did you see the setup for them? They're laying out on couches half asleep.
Yeah,
the big hurt.
Like, if I'm Frank, I'm calling in sick every game. Go ahead.
No. All right, so you have Hunter Wendelstedt. He's the home plate umpire.
I wish I'd punch her in the face.
Why?
Oh,
you have a history with him?
He's the first guy kicked me out of the game in the big league.
He was?
With no reason.
Hunter Wendelstedt?
Yes, he come out there, and I was playing third baseman, and his dad, he was a
legend. Big
legend.
Man. Yeah.
Then I say, you know what? You know the people your dad is behind.
Uh-oh.
I told him that. You know you pimple your daddy's behind.
You're not a
You have
pimple
to
on your daddy's
respect.
behind, yeah.
Because he kicked me out running out of the field. Like, okay, I went out to second base, and he kicked me out of the game. Like, wait a minute. You know who I am?
Whoa.
Don't leave. No, he said, don't leave with your daddy's name.
He also later called him fat.
And here's that.
All right, go ahead.
Look what he say.
Wow, he just gave an F-bomb.
I swear to God. Yes, he did.
Wow.
He did. Major League Baseball.
He's bigger than the game.
He's bigger than anything else. Look at how fat he is. Look at how fat he is. He should be embarrassed and wear that uniform.
He should be embarrassed.
I love Ozzie Guillen's accent. It's gotten heavier as he's gotten on. You should not have people on your daddy's.
He's angry.
So good. You could see how angry he was because his sentences, he just started to just throw things out there in anger without having anywhere he was going.
Oh, he's classic, Ozzie Guillen.
That was good.
Really classic. All right, so that's the news at noon.
That was good stuff, Ray.
Yeah,
Are they going to break the
that
record?
was good stuff.
Are the White Sox going to break the record for the worst team in
clearly
history?
Break the record.
Yeah, I think this is now.
I don't know how it's possible to assemble a team that's that bad. I really don't. In this day and age, like it's almost there are bad teams, but to assemble one that bad is almost impossible.
Yeah, it is. It's like how can you be that bad? And there was a guy on that team I wanted. I wanted Luis Robert Jr.
Yeah, I know you're a big Luis, Robert.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know now.
He's eating a plate of food before every game. He doesn't care.
It is hard to care when you're on a team like that.
Just so unfortunate to have your name forever attached to like that.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. It's the General Knowledge Wednesday. 610-622-0975 is how you get in. It's 2-2. So you can cut the tension with the chainsaw here.
I know.
Back after this.
Now is the time to be.
Missanelli Show is brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. 0% financing for 72 months. $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, 610-632-0975. General knowledge, if you are interested in winning Weezer tickets or getting a question right where you get a pair of tickets to Fanatic Fan Fest, we're open for business. The Phillies tonight, coming off a monster win last night, comeback win over the hapless Blue Jays with Kyle Schwarber going off, 5 hits and 3 bombs. To reward Kyle, he's in left field today in an afternoon game. Bill, what is this lineup that Topper has come up with today?
This is an interesting lineup. So Schwarber in left, Turner obviously at short, Bryce Harper still in the lineup today playing first. Batting cleanup and your designated hitter, Nick Castellanos.
This is the first day he's been out of the field, right?
Yeah, we got by a pitch last night. I guess they're trying to rest him a little bit. I don't know. Bryson Stott at second, JT Realmuto behind the plate, Brandon Marsh in center, Weston Wilson in right field for Castellanos, and then playing third and batting ninth, Cody Clemens.
He's down on Hayes.
Well, someone tweeted at me last night, Ray, because I was upset that Hayes wasn't in the lineup. They said Hayes was sick. Has that been confirmed?
I'm sick.
Somebody said he was
couldn't
sick.
hit righties.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought they sat him down. But him not in the lineup today.
He loves himself some Weston Wilson.
Dub. Where's the love train?
Loves himself some Weston Wilson. He's in right field.
Right field, Weston
Schwarber
Wilson.
in left field. Cody Clemens at third base.
Let me ask you a question. Why not just give Castellanos the day off?
Because Castellanos wants to play 162 games. There was a story on that.
Yeah,
That's the whole point behind this is that Thompson loves him so much he wants to give him a chance to play 162 because it's important to him.
All right, so then why not sit Bryce today? We didn't really dive into this discussion. You got the Blue Jays today, then you got the Marlins for 4, and then the Tampa Bay Rays for 3. They could put him on the 10-day IL right now, and he would come back for Game 2 of the Mets series.
Listen, I don't know why. All I know is that Thompson checks in with players, and I understand Bryce Harper's not going to bail out of any game, but he's also in touch with his medical staff on what's going on with Harper. And I guess the staff doesn't think it's that problematic.
Look, to your point earlier, he is hitting the ball hard, but the way he dropped that bat last night on that swing, scary.
Listen, they tested it out. They put him on a strength meter with the hand the whole bit. I assume they're conscious of this whole thing.
I think they would. And Ricky Bo just checked in. Austin Hayes is under the weather. So
yes, okay.
That's why he's not in the lineup.
I guess if you're Bryce Harper, though, you're probably looking around that clubhouse today like, all right, Castellanos banged up from, he's DHing today because he got hit by the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Hayes under the weather. This lineup is already kind of, Bohm's been banged up. You're kind of looking around like, hey, maybe I should keep myself in this lineup. I think that's the way he's wired. Like,
probably.
The competitor in him's like, yeah, don't take me out of this lineup. This lineup needs me.
I get it. And let's go back to the Castellanos wanting to play 162. All of that, though, that's not the goal. The goal isn't to beat the Toronto Blue Jays on we're in September now. September 4th. I don't know. You should have your eyes on the big picture here. If Castellanos needs a day off, give him a day off. If Bryce Harper needs to go on a 10-day IL, give him 10 days. I don't love it.
It's interesting how quick this has flipped with the fan base because 2 weeks ago the fan base flipped out that he didn't pinch hit in the 9th inning, and now we're asking for him to sit down for 10 days.
Well, was he hurt? If he was hurt 10 days ago, whenever it was, then that would make sense that he got the day off. But that was never reported back then. It was just, we wanted to give him a day off. But if he's in fact hurt, which it looks like he is, he's got that brace back on his arm, he winced last night after a swing, then I'd shut him down. Sometimes you got to, as a manager, Mike, you agree with this. Sometimes you got to get your players out of their own way.
Yeah, there's no question. And he's gotten them out of his own way before. So this is what I'm saying. The test must come back with it's okay for him to play. Let's go back to your buddy Dom, who's a baseball man. We're talking about the situation last night. Were you yelling the same thing at Topper since you're an anti-Topper guy? We're in the 8th inning.
I'm not an anti-Topper.
Harper singles to center. Wilson walk. All right, well, I don't know why you would walk Weston Wilson. Pitch to Will. If Weston Wilson hits a home run, I got salute. Like, you're going to nibble around Weston Wilson and walk him?
The crazier thing is that they walk Weston Wilson, but they pitch to Schwarber in the ninth? With a man on second and third with a base open?
Yeah.
What are you pitching to Schwarber for? He already hit 2 home runs.
Because you're loading the bases with nobody out at that point. So Wilson walks. It's a first and second, and it's Stott. Your guy says he should bunt there. Now, Stott hit a seed. Right? He hit the ball hard. Second baseman made a really nice play, and they turned 2. So he wants to Stott to give up and out there. Would I have done that down 8-7? No. I would have been aggressive and let Stott hit there.
What was it? This was the bottom of
the top of the 8th. They were still down 8-7. They got the first 2 men on. Stott is up. Your guy says you should have bunted him over, and make it second and third with 1 out, with Real Muto coming up,
with JT coming up to the plate.
But at that point, then you could walk Real Muto. They did walk Real Muto, but you can walk him with a base open and pitch to Marsh.
I'm also probably not doing it because Stott was hitting the ball well. He was 2 for 5 at that point.
Could easily put you in the lead there rather than give up an out. So I probably wouldn't have bunt there. They don't like to give up outs today. Mike in Reading. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
What's up, buddy?
First time calling back. Glad to have you back.
Thank you, bud.
So I was going to have a thing about Tyler Phillips and go on something about Dombrowski and Thompson. It's not a big deal, you know. I mean, they could have, with the 4 days rest, had Sanchez start yesterday and let the kid pitch in Florida with a bigger ballpark. I'm over it. We've talked about other subjects now. Let's talk about it. Taijuan Walker, I mean, after 2 innings, you got to say, you know, I'm good here. You know, I could pull him now, you know, and then you let him come in and pitch to Guerrero. You know, you got what you deserved. You gave up 2 runs. He just does not have the velocity. He doesn't have enough there, and they're going to have to do a bullpen game later on.
Yeah, but last night you had to have him pitch a couple innings. You couldn't have used your bullpen that early and extend another bullpen guy.
Like I said, the 3rd inning, I think when I'm done 2 innings with him, I'm saying to myself, I think I've made out like a bandit here. Okay,
I get it, but then you're extending somebody else.
Yeah, and you need Alvarado possibly for tonight with Hoffman and Estevez. So because you can't use probably Schramm and Kirkering tonight.
Yeah,
so
and you wanted to use Ruiz, Kirkering, and Schramm for only 1 inning, so he had to go an extra inning.
And considering the fact that Harper has not been producing, and now Schwarber produced last night, apparently Schwarber only wants to hit home runs in 3s now. I would definitely sit him for at least. I mean, as soon as Bohm comes back, at least on Thursday, I would sit him down.
Yeah.
And then after that, I guess after the 10th, we can bring Allard back because he knows how to stay. He knows how to give up 12 base runners in 5 innings and only give up 2 runs. So that's what I would do.
All right, I got you. General knowledge question for you?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. This is the 3-letter answers.
Okay.
You know your Bible? His wife became a pillar of salt.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, what a great biblical story here. Bill's chopping. Job is incorrect, bro. Come on, man. It's not Job. Job had the patience. His wife became a pillar of salt, Bill. Oh, no, Bill, you let me down.
I know.
You're a Catholic school guy.
A religion minor in college,
A religion minor. What are you kidding me?
Let me think about it for a second. His wife was a pillar of salt, 3-letter word.
His wife was turned into a pillar of salt for a certain reason.
I don't got it.
Oh, my God. Lot.
People got it on YouTube.
It's Lot. Can you imagine coming home, your wife's a pillar of salt? She disobeyed the warning about sinful Sodom and Gomorrah. Fire and brimstone story that was, Bill.
Yo, Ray gets 3 questions now. We've gone 3 callers in a row. Ray's got to get his opportunity.
See, Lot was Italian. He'd come home and his wife's a pillar of salt. He'd go, she's a pain in the ass anyway.
Yeah.
610-632-0975. Back after this. At 12:34, General Knowledge Wednesday prize pair of lower level tickets to see Weezer Voyage to the Blue Planet tour Friday, September 13th at the Wells Fargo Center. Wow, the Wells. You sell out the Wells?
I think it's sold out.
It's sold
close
out.
to.
It is sold out. It's a sold out concert. Lazy, a lot of Weezer fans are out there, man.
So let me ask you.
Uh-huh.
If Ray and I, because I'm his lifeline, if we win, do we get the Weezer tickets?
No. You're ineligible. You get my admiration is what you win.
It's ridiculous, right?
That's all right. You can take both tickets.
No, we're not allowed.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will.
Wait, when is it? Next
Friday.
Next Friday, September 13th.
There's no Eagles game.
I think you should go. I think you should lobby or your sales buddies over here. You've been here a lot longer than me.
Hip.
You've made a lot more inroads with the sales department.
Also, if you were asking about openers, the Flaming Lips and Dinosaur Jr.
Don't use jelly. She uses Vaseline.
Yeah, that's a good jam. Is that the Flaming Lips?
Well, if it wasn't the Flaming Lips, would I sing it?
I don't know.
I just thought like singing Vaseline.
What other songs? Is that their only hit?
No, they've got a couple. Flaming Lips.
Jeez, bad.
All right.
Obviously, yeah.
Ray, you're due a general knowledge question. So what's the score? What's the tally?
It is 2-2. 3 straight wrong answers from the callers.
Ooh. All right, I told you, Ray, this was a Vietnam question, and it's back to the 3-letter answers. So we'll see if you know this. What is well, first of all, this was a notable part of the Vietnam War, which almost turned the United States into coming to the conclusion that it was not a war that could be won. But it's also the name of the Vietnamese New Year.
Oh.
3 letters.
3 letters, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of different combination of letters.
Yes.
That could potentially be this. Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah,
You're out.
that's just not going to happen here.
I don't know. Do you trust Bill with a lifeline? Because I'm not getting a positive.
He hasn't looked at me. Usually he gives me the look of daggers like, wow,
positive,
you're an idiot.
Here's the problem. The YouTube chat, multiple people have gotten the answer correct. So I'm disqualifying myself from being able to help.
All right. Well, the correct answer is Tet, T-E-T.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the big Vietnam turning point was called the Tet Offensive because they on New Year's the Viet Cong launched North Vietnamese and Viet Cong launched a coordinated attack against targets in South Vietnam, and the U.S. and it took heavy losses. And at that point, it was circulated. We can't win this war. We cannot win it. So it's over. It's ridiculous. And plus, there was pressure at home. Yeah, you know.
Well,
you get it all here.
The generals actually asked to add more troops, like 500,000 more troops, to counter this whole thing. And meanwhile, within the department, they're going, we can't win this war. And that was the turning point.
Tet. I will now know.
The Tet Offensive.
You'll never forget
the
now.
Tet Offensive.
Yes, Tet Offensive.
Yeah, big escalation of the war. Okay, let's go to Frank in New Jersey. Frank, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Frank. Yo, Frank.
Frankie.
Well, Frank's not there.
Yeah,
there
Frank
he is.
here.
Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead,
Hey,
buddy.
how you doing, Mike?
Good, man. How you doing?
How you doing? Long-time listener.
Thank you.
Getting back to that religion question, I was at Catholic school my whole life, and I wouldn't have known it.
You know, Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt. It was the Sodom and Gomorrah, the fire and brimstone that the God pushed down on them.
I wouldn't have known it.
Oh, man, I can't believe this. I didn't even go to Catholic school.
I had a point about. I wanted to ask you a question about the Phillies lineup. Do you think that because I'm getting sick and tired of them stranding guys on base? Do you think it has anything to do with that?
What Stranding guys on base?
Stranding guys on base. Do you think the Phillies lineup, if you changed it, minor changes, like...
What would you do? What would be your changes?
I'm thinking, you got all the good hitters up front.
Hey, Frank, can you do me a favor, Frank? Can you take me off speaker? Because it's hard to hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
What I'm thinking is that you have all them good hitters up front. They get on base, and you got an average hitter trying to get them home.
All right, so let me hear your line. What would you do?
I'm thinking, what the hell, Scott? Scott's fifth, right? Scotty?
Yeah, they hit him usually sixth, yes.
Fifth or sixth?
Yeah.
Maybe move him up to fourth, like that.
I don't think you want Stott in the cleanup.
How about
you definitely don't.
Any veteran that we got off another team, I would take. Like Wilson, I would take him also, easily.
You would take Wilson for what?
Put him in second, third, fourth, like that.
Where would he play? What position are you playing Weston Wilson in?
Well, I'm just talking about his batting as of the moment. I mean,
but you can't just tell him he's got to have a position.
Well, he plays anywhere. He plays third base. I've seen him play everything.
But he can't play anywhere. He kills you. He's not a good defensive player. He's a journeyman player.
Third, he wasn't that bad. He only missed one.
Yeah, but he's not a full-time player.
Now he's starting to. All right. Well, I have a feeling that Thompson's going to make that change once we hit the playoffs. He's definitely going to.
Yeah, he's not making any. He's not a lineup change guy. He's not making any changes.
We're not going to.
Well, then they're in first place, Frank. What are we talking about? What do you mean they need a shake-up? They're going to be a number 1 and 2 seed. Why are you down on the Phillies right now? Why?
I got one. You want to hear why?
Yes.
Because they're relying on the long ball. That's why. They're relying on the long ball, and I don't think that's going to be.
But everybody relies on the long ball. That's what baseball is. Did the Yankees rely on the long ball? Did the Dodgers rely on it?
The Yankees.
All right, what about the Dodgers? They're in first place.
The Dodgers also, I think.
What teams are in first place? Come on, Frankie, you're killing me.
Yeah, but look at our guy, our home run hitters. All of a sudden, they're in big slumps. Monthly slumps. It's not good.
A typical Philly fan.
Wow, you didn't even give him a general knowledge question.
Typical Philly fan.
The call was so bad, he said, I'm not even giving him a general knowledge.
I'll take his question.
Come on now. Come on with this.
No, Frank, that was a little...
change the lineup. We got to do this. What are we in panic mode? They're in first place.
They scored 10 runs last night. Weston Wilson's batting third today.
They had 18 hits last night. They were go-away winners of their National League East. What are we talking about here? Are people nuts?
No, I'm with you on that. Frank, that was a little extreme, man. You're not playing Weston Wilson.
You started with this damn Thompson thing. He's got to do something. He's got to change it up.
He should have done something when they were slumping.
Guys are listening to you, and Frank is calling it in a panic.
You're not playing Weston Wilson at third. I'm not on board with that one. And I'm certainly not on board.
Wilson's got to be hitting 2. Weston Wilson can't. He's not a major league player. Not a full-time major league player.
No, and you're not batting Stott in cleanup either.
Talking about Weston Wilson now. What the hell's happened? What is going on here?
You know what's happened?
I blew a gasket. That's what happened.
What's happened is they didn't upgrade the outfield enough, Mike.
Oh, my God.
So now you got fans calling up about Weston Wilson, and what are they going to do? They should have brought in a better left fielder.
They're in first place.
And they could still win the World Series.
What are you talking about? They're in first place. They can still win the World Series. They're going to get one of the top 2 seeds and rest. What are we panicked about? It's ridiculous.
There's no panic. No panic over here.
Yeah, you want like a perfect scenario. No team is perfect. Well, they should have gotten a better left fielder. They should have got a 5th starter. It's not easy to do that. You make it sound like it's easy.
If this team falls short, it's a disappointment. Is it not? If they don't win the World Series, it's a major disappointment.
It is.
So you do everything you can.
That are predicted to win a World Series sometimes don't win a World Series. You just have to go into it and hope your players hit. I've got no problem with the way they're going to pitch in the playoffs. You can't go through slumps, and you can never predict when hitters are going to go through slumps. And it has nothing to do with you not having a 5th starter or having an outfielder. They've got enough offense on this team to get it done.
They could have more. I'm being greedy. Listen, I'm being greedy. I know I'm being greedy. I just wanted to see them do more at the deadline.
Oh, my God. I can't take it.
Like, you go to the top seed in the NL.
Here's the thing about our city. I love us. But we don't appreciate when there's a good team. This is a good freaking team. So, relax. If it doesn't happen, then we reserve the right to bitch when that happens. But right now, it's like, come on.
No, that would be after the fact. I'm looking at it.
Of course it's after the fact. I'm totally comfortable going into this thing. I am not saying, oh, my God, they don't have this, they don't have that. I don't know where this mentality comes from.
You feel comfortable right now about Ranger?
I feel comfortable about the whole team. I feel comfortable because somehow you have assumed that there's this monster competitor out there that's going to eat the Phillies' lunch. They're as good as any team in the National League, which means they have as good a chance to get to the World Series.
But they could have been better. You could give yourself a more likely chance. If Austin Hayes isn't the answer in left, then you still have the same problems in outfield that you had before the trade deadline.
Was the thinking to acquire Austin Hayes prudent? Was it prudent?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's the right guy.
But you're doing the best you can. Are you not convinced that Dombrowski, when he measured everything out, thought that he was doing the best possible thing for the team as far as the availability of players?
Okay. So then we could ask the same question. Was Devin White signing prudent by Howie Roseman? He thought he was getting a good linebacker. You can't look at it that way.
Devin White was also benched.
And so was Austin Hayes.
But Austin Hayes was benched because they had a plethora of talent coming up through the farm system. Devin White was benched because he was a mutt.
What does Dombrowski have on you, man? Why can't you just acknowledge he should have done more at the deadline? What are you doing?
Because you don't look at the logistics of what a general manager can do. Do you think he wouldn't have wanted to add a star player there? At that stage, you can't. You got to know baseball how it works.
You don't need a star. But you need somebody who can play every day.
Austin Hayes was an everyday player.
Is he an everyday player? We don't know. Can he hit right-handed pitching?
He was an everyday player in Baltimore who made an all-star team. All right? So, like, what did he go? Did he acquire some mutt that was out there? Come on, Bill. Chip in Unionville. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Chip. What's up, Chip?
Wow, I tell you, I love being reminded of why I like listening to you, Mike. Your voice of reasoning and your rationality, you just bark back at them and say, sit down over there, sit down.
Well, it's the easiest thing to do is say, they should have done better. And I go, this general manager has built several teams to be contenders. Do you think he knows what he's doing?
If anybody's proven they know what they're doing, it's Dave Dombrowski.
Of course.
I thought we were supposed to be talking about the Eagles. Last I heard, they're actually playing a regular season game in 2 days.
They are.
Temperature too.
They are. Unfortunately,
how you feeling?
I'm not feeling good about the game. I'm feeling good about the team winning 11 games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, listen, they could surprise me and come out and win this game. I don't know. All these changes and what their defense is going to look like, I just have no concept. And I think the Green Bay Packers are a little ahead of them at this point. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I got a question about the linebackers and now this Devin White. Does that mean that Trot Jr. is going to get some serious time? I guess Nakobe Dean takes his place?
I don't think
right?
Trotter may see some time. I don't think he sees serious time. I don't know what they're going to do. With this Devin White situation is really interesting. Maybe they think Trotter can play. I don't know. I mean, is that possibly what they're thinking?
Maybe down the road.
They have a choice.
But no, Fangio doesn't like to rotate his linebackers. It's going to be Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. That's who's going to be your starting linebackers. If they struggle and Devin White's not the answer, maybe they turn things over to Trotter Jr. But look, he's a fifth-round rookie for a reason. I'm excited for him in the future, but I don't think you can expect him to be the guy.
I'm not talking about starter time.
Yeah, I don't think Fangio.
Backup time
Yeah, but Chip, I don't think Fangio wants to rotate his linebackers that much.
We'll see. He may get some time. You never know. They're a little thin there right now, so we'll see. They got Van Summer, and they got the other guy that made the team. What's his name? The other linebacker?
Oren Burks.
Oren Burks. Yeah. So I think those guys will get a shot before Trotter does. All right. Let me give you a general knowledge question. It's a football question, actually. All right. This man, this defensive end, had one of the most dominant seasons ever, recording 20 and a half sacks and 16 pass deflections in the year 2012. Who was it?
2012. God, 12 years
20
ago.
and a half sacks and 16 passes deflected. He now is on a beer commercial.
Oh, I don't watch television. I mean, is that too old for J.J. Watt?
No, that's
That
correct.
is correct. It is J.J. Watt. Hold on a second.
Great job by Chip there.
Yeah, it was a great job by Chip. All right, so would it be fair to give Ray a football question?
I think so, because we're at a 3-2 deficit right now, Ray.
Okay, Ray. This running back rushed for a record 28 touchdowns in 2006.
I got you if you need it.
I'm going to take this one.
You can't tell him that you got it. You're disqualified. Your lifeline's disqualified. Go ahead.
LaDainian Tomlinson?
Correct. LaDainian Tomlinson. So we are tied now. Oh, man. I love this tension as we go into the 1 o'clock hour.
You love it. I'm dying over here.
I know you are. This is a tussle between Ray and the audience today.
For Weezer tickets.
610-632-0975. That's how you get in. It is the... Oh, Chip hung up before he got his info?
Call us back, Chip.
Come on, Chip. I'll put you on hold. Yeah, Chip, call us back. You qualify. You get the tickets and you qualify for Weezer. The Mike Missanelli Show continues after this.
Series or bust, man, this year, not 4 years from now.
The World Series or bust isn't going to depend on a fifth starter. They're good. They're a good enough team to get to the World Series without having a fifth starter.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
We're still holding court here on the Mike Missanelli Show. 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Ferguson HVAC, Lyon Conklin. Pension HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's counter locations. They're in Bed-Salem, King of Prussia, Pensacola, or Westchester. Bill is always busy. His head is always tied into the YouTube chat board. And are you telling me? Yeah, this has got to be a lie. Are you telling me that the YouTube chat board is agreeing with you on the Phillies needing more?
There's a lot of people on the YouTube chat agreeing with me. There are.
About what specifically?
That Dombrowski could have done more at the deadline. So we have, let me see if I can get a few of these. So we have, it's not easy to find someone that has a better than a 6.50 ERA, question mark, for you, Mike, saying you're saying that they can't find anybody better. They anointed Hayes the starting left fielder like he's the 2004 Barry Bonds. He stinks. We have, if Dombrowski was right on Tawan Walker in the first place, we wouldn't have this problem. We have Sean. Mike can't admit when he's wrong. How about that?
Well, here's the thing, and I excuse people because you don't get deep into the baseball knowledge, all right? So to really answer this, you have to get deeper than just looking at it and go, well, they could have done better. Okay. Give me who? Give me who? Because that's the second part of the question that's more difficult. You're getting the likes of the Kyle Gibsons of the world, and now you have to overpay for the Kyle Gibsons of the world just to get a fifth starter. It doesn't make any prudent sense when you're trying to run an organization. It's any idiot can sit in front of a television and say, well, they should have done this.
All right.
And not have a solution on what they could have done.
Here's where you're wrong. And first of all, to be fair, there are people
not wrong.
There are people in the chat who agree with you. Flyers in 7 is saying Bill is lying. He's an unreliable narrator. K-Dub said, Bill, please stop. So there's mixed comments. But here is where you're wrong. It's not just about a fifth starter. And I don't want to keep having this argument because we can't cry over spilled milk. It's over. We can't go back in time. But it's not just a fifth starter. It's the fact that Ranger Suarez has not proven that he can get back to the guy he was to start the season or even who he was last year in the postseason. So now you're not just talking about a fifth starter. You're potentially talking about a guy who may have to pitch in the playoffs.
Bill, you would be the first guy. I hear what you're saying. Well, you need another guy. You're not going to get another guy that's adequate enough with Ranger Suarez anyway.
So you picked up,
you're going to say
you called all 29 teams and found out what pitchers were available?
I know. I've been covering baseball for a lot of years. Like, I'm 100 years older than you. All right?
He's old, right?
I know how difficult it is. Like, you just can't click your fingers and say, well, I'm going to get somebody better than what we have. You can't just click your fingers and say, well, I have to get a better guy because I don't know about Ranger Suarez, and I'm going to have to give away prospects, because you would be the first damn guy to criticize them if they got rid of a prospect that needs to be in their lineup in the next couple of years. Aiden Miller's going to be in the lineup somewhere for them in the next couple of years, all right? That's not a guy that you can trade.
All right, so let's talk about them. We're talking about the fifth starter. Let's talk about left field, because I feel like they could have done more than bringing in a guy like Austin Hayes.
And the only reason you came to that conclusion is because Austin Hayes hasn't hit here. That's the only reason. But at the time that you're acquiring Austin Hayes, he's got enough of a track record to say, you know what? That's a pretty decent acquisition that we're going to make. This is what you're ignoring. You always look at the after the fact to prove your before the fact point.
Not true. Not true.
Totally
because
true.
If you looked at Austin Hayes' numbers this season before they made the trade, he wasn't an everyday player. He needed to get back to the guy he was last year.
Because Baltimore had better prospects.
No, because he was hitting.
He fell through the cracks.
He was hitting less than 200 against right-handed pitchers. That was before they made the trade.
But he was also an all-star caliber player who can run a little bit and play defense. When you're stacking up all the chips, who can I acquire? It is at the very top level. That guy is there for you. You were under the assumption that there's so many other guys that you could have gotten. When the fact of the matter is, and Dombrowski knows this because he's been in the business for 100 years, there aren't a lot of guys like that. There aren't.
You don't think they could have got a player better than Austin Hayes?
So for you to sit here and take pot shots after the fact is weak.
It's not after the fact.
It's
leading
weak.
up to the damn deadline, I wanted to see them make moves.
Okay.
And leading up to the deadline, I didn't care about the prospects.
Did you know that when they acquired Hayes, that he wasn't going to hit? You knew that. You automatically knew that was a bad acquisition.
When they acquired Hayes, I thought, just like many people thought, that they were going to go with a platoon in left. He was going to bat against lefties. Marsh was going to bat against righties. That's not the plan. The plan was, because Topper told us this, was for Hayes to be an everyday player in left. And it doesn't look like that's going to work out. Maybe after the fact, I'll admit I'm wrong if Austin Hayes comes up big against a right-handed pitcher. We haven't seen it yet. So I would have rather them gotten more of a sure thing in left field.
And that was who?
I'm not Dave Dombrowski.
Oh. Okay.
I don't
so
call
you're going
all
to chastise
29
Dave
teams.
Dombrowski, who knows that there aren't anybody better than that, and you're going to rip him. He's the guy who has the track record of being able to build. He knows the personnel up and down in Major League Baseball. And you're going to tell me he was unaware that there was he passed on somebody better, but you don't have that solution. You don't know who that was.
I don't have the ability to call all 29 general managers in Major League Baseball.
And he did.
And he chose not to do anything that involved prospects. They didn't trade any prospects. He valued the prospects over making a move.
For who? For who? Who would he have traded prospects for? What team is going to... All right, you're going to give me Randy Arozarena, and you're going to give me Lewis Robert Jr., and you're going to tell me those were better acquisitions than Austin Hayes. Well, Dombrowski, who knows the league, says, you know what? No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not better. And so I sit here and I go, do I know better than Dave Dombrowski? Do you know better than Dave Dombrowski? No, you don't. He is making the best deal that he can make for his team.
And if this team comes up short, and if this team comes up short,
you'll reserve the right to criticize him, which is what everybody does.
Just
after the fact criticism.
When you have a team that is this good, because they are a good team, if you have a team that's this good, where you've gotten close 2 years in a row, you got to do something to put them over the top. And you look at this team, from what they were last year in the NLCS to what they are now, where have they improved?
Oh, my God.
Where have they improved?
They're 82 and 56.
And they're
going to be a number 1 or number 2 seed. What the hell are you even talking about right now?
At the deadline, he should have done more. If they win the World Series, I will say I'm sorry to Dave Dombrowski, even though you don't think we should apologize.
Might be one of the most exasperating days I've spent here in this booth.
I think you say that every day.
Ray Dunn?
Ray, I think he says that every day.
I don't know. Listen, I'll let you have a say in this. He's exhausted me.
That's okay. I'm going to go actually to a law school buddy here, Johnny Mars. Mikey, it's Johnny Mars. Please smack the young counselor and tell him to stick to football. He doesn't know what the hell he's saying.
That'd be my buddy, John Marzini.
Yeah, I just got a tweet at me. What about Jazz Chisholm? Would you have done that move?
They didn't like Jazz Chisholm.
Oh, well, they liked Austin Hayes. But for some reason, Dombrowski can't be accused of doing anything wrong on this show.
Jazz Chisholm would have cost them a lot more than Austin Hayes, and they didn't really like him. And after his flurry in Yankeedom, he's kind of settled it down and got hurt. So I don't know. I'm the general manager. Either I like players or I don't like players. There's a reason why that Dave Dombrowski didn't like Jazz Chisholm. Not the least of which was he had to pay a lot more for him.
Yeah, but why do you fail to admit when Dave Dombrowski could be wrong? He's not perfect.
Because you're admitting
he's not God.
You're admitting that he's wrong in the face of them being a number 1 or number 2 seed. I mean, you don't have any argument.
They are
you don't have any argument.
They're a number 1 or 2 seed based off of the start that they had at the regular season.
Doesn't matter.
They're still a very good
what
team.
It is, they're still going to be a 1 or 2 seed, and you're bitching and moaning like some idiot.
Because if we come here in November and we're talking about how they got close again, you're not going to look back at the deadline and say maybe he could have done more.
I tell you, let's go forward in time so you can have that argument. Like, I don't understand your argument. A team that is in their place right now and they're perfectly fine. you're making an argument that they're not fine down the road, which I unless you're some soothsayer or a seer of the future or shapeshifter, whatever the hell you are.
Well, you just said to me when I told you that I didn't like the Austin Hayes move, well, that's after the fact.
And of course it is.
Well, now I'm giving you something before the fact. If they come up short and they don't win a World Series, it's a major disappointment in this city, and Dombrowski should have done more at the deadline. And the fact that you disagree with that, I don't agree with at all. Because how do you look at the trade deadline?
That they would fail because he didn't do more at the deadline instead of saying, well, maybe their key players didn't hit again. 610-632-0975 back after this. Market research for the Sixers.
Sometimes you gotta bleed to know.
With people on this side of the bridge make the effort to get to the other side of the bridge to a new Sixers arena.
If they do it in Camden. Well, you could take the Paco from Philly if you're in Center City, but it's the Philly suburbs. It's a tough drive.
So new arena, that the parking fees would go up to what? What do you think? 40?
Ooh.
$40 to park. The bridge. What is it, Ben Franklin? 5?
Is it 6 now? I know Walt Whitman's at 6.
I think it might be popping up to 6.
$6. $46 before you even hear a dribble.
See, and the problem is when you come from Jersey to go to a Sixers or a Phillies game, you're usually doing the opposite of what the rush hour is.
The plan, I was so on board with their plan to revitalize that Market Street area and have something really significant with a train underneath it. And what is wrong with that? People just absorb progress. I don't understand it. You look at the inconveniences of it before you look at the positivity of it. Something new, something different, something that would make your city stand out.
Look, even though I live in Cherry Hill, it'd be easy to get to Camden. I'm rooting for Center City. I think I'm with you.
It's not going to happen. There's so much opposition against this now. It can't possibly happen. So they're going to wind up. They're not going to cede to Comcast and join their network down there. They're going to do the Camden thing.
Now, what would you rather have? Let's say Center City's out. Because me and you both are in agreement we'd rather have the Center City Arena. Would you rather them go to Camden or would you rather them join Comcast and build a new complex down there?
Listen, I don't have a stake in the Comcast thing, right? They do. They want to get away from those people. So it's not a matter of with me. Would I would have to accept it. I didn't want to even accept the baseball field, the new ballpark being down there. I wanted the ballpark to be in Center City.
Although it did work out. Citizens Bank's pretty.
That's nice, but who knows how it would have worked out if you put it in the city?
Yeah.
We're just afraid of progress. I don't get it.
People don't like change.
It's 2024.
People don't like change.
610-632-0975. Am I owed Ray a question here? Or is it we have to go to the phone?
Well, Ray was owed 3 questions. I think he only got 1.
Oh,
so.
Okay, well, I'll give you another question then.
It's 3-3 right now.
Okay, Ray?
Mm-hmm.
General knowledge category. What movie featured a talking candelabra named Lumiere?
Talking candelabra named Lumiere. The only talking candle I can remember is from a kid's movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going Beauty and the Beast.
Be our guest. Be our guest.
Correcto mundo.
Good job, Ray.
Ray takes the lead.
Good job by Ray.
Let's go to Brian in Pottstown. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Brian.
What's going on, Mike? Hey, so with this fifth starter thing, yeah, they could have got a better fifth starter, but you're also not selling the farm for a fifth starter because that's not someone who's likely going to pitch in the playoffs. But moving to my next point.
So you're agreeing with me?
Yeah, 100%. I'm agreeing.
100%. That Dave Dombrowski has to face up to those same facts.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. You're not giving away prospects who they're not even going to be on the active roster, most likely, come playoff time. But secondly, I'm moving on to Bryce Harper. I think he does need to sit on the 10-day because it's obvious. It's almost like when he came off the surgery when he didn't have he couldn't launch balls anymore. The angle of his swing was just different. He is hitting for average, but I think for the playoffs we need him to be able to hit home runs.
All right, so I don't know what they can do about it though. He still wants to play. They think he's still able to play and help the ball club. So what did you do?
What I would do, and you're going to hate this idea, but I would bring up Marshawn, have him catch, move JT to first, get JT off his knees, and you're also helping Bryce out by sitting him for 10 days.
You would have Marshawn be your everyday catcher.
For 10 days.
For 10 days, and have JT play first base and sit Harper.
Yeah, for 10 days, because I think it's more important for the playoffs. We have a 7-game league right now, or whatever we have. You can get through 10 days, and hopefully our trainers, this is incumbent on the trainers saying that 10 days would matter, is enough for him to rest and get that elbow back where it needs to be.
Well, I don't know.
Thinking outside the box.
You are thinking outside the box. I mean, I don't know that they would do that. Isn't Marshawn hurt now?
Yeah, he went on the IL down there in the Lehigh Valley. That's why he didn't come up with the roster expansion.
Hurt. Yeah, that's why he didn't come up for the roster expansion. So you can't expand your roster anymore.
Well, then my plan sucks.
All right, man. But here's your general knowledge question. All right, so we are still in the area of general knowledge. We'll stay with kind of a similar theme. Who once attended a tea party with a hatter and a hare?
Alice?
That is correct. Oh my God! Look at this. We got another correct answer.
These are easy.
They're going ahead. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. You know what I'm doing?
You're singing.
Go ask Alice.
But who is this?
When she's 10 feet tall.
What band is that?
That would be Gracie Slick and the Jefferson Airplane.
Jefferson Airplane.
White Rabbit. Ray,
Now,
you knew that, right? Tom Alford didn't even know that one. He's in there. You knew that one, Tom? Did you know that? White Rabbit?
I keep the monitor down in here, so he can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, all right. He's clueless then.
Now, what Alice in Wonderland did you prefer? The old one, the cartoon, or the one with Johnny Depp?
I didn't even see the one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, the cartoon was better.
So watch the cartoon with my daughter.
The original one was good.
She didn't realize it was hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Yeah, the whole thing was drugs. Everything was. What they smoked.
That's why the Jefferson Airplane did that song.
Yeah.
Let's go to bed. No, we have to take a break, so we'll hold on for that. So what's our score? Let's take inventory.
It's 4.
We're coming down the home stretch, audience. All right, now a pair of tickets to see Weezer is at stake, but also if you get the question correctly, you're coming to FanFest. So home stretch 610-622-0975. Are you going to let Ray win? Ray needs to get a correct answer to tie the score.
No, it is. It's 4-4.
Oh, it is 4-4.
Yeah, we're
all even.
Okay, well, then we're
in a barn burner.
This is a barn burner. All right, so on the other side, let me see what. I don't know about these NFL football questions. I may have to make the rest of the questions the 3-letter answers.
I like those.
Man.
Those are tough. It's more like
I'm
Jeopardy.
struggling on these.
You're struggling, but Bill struggles too. Didn't know. Catholic school educated, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catholic school, went to Bishop Eustace Prep.
I still have 2 lifelines?
Didn't know from Lot.
But not Catholic school.
One of the oldest biblical stories ever.
Not until middle school. So maybe they taught that in the younger years. I was public school up until middle school.
2 lifelines, right?
You have 2 lifelines left.
Okay.
So we should be able to win this damn thing.
We should.
All right.
No guarantees on that one.
Let's take a break. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. Who's going to win, Ray or the audience? Back after this. Mike Missanelli Show coming down the home stretch of a General Knowledge Wednesday. It's a quick offbeat question. Do your feet grow when you get older?
I don't know. Everything else kind of gets smaller, doesn't it?
Yeah, I shrunk because my back had developed a curve, so I lost an inch or two. But my feet got bigger. Now, I did have this major surgery on my foot where my foot was not connected to my ankle.
Ooh.
You didn't know that?
It's hard to keep up with
before the knee surgery.
I was going to say, it's hard to keep up with all these
playing
conditions.
Basketball. I came down hard. I thought it was just a sprained ankle, and then my foot started flopping around over the next week. So I got it looked at. The guy was the U.S. Soccer team doctor, and he gave me one of these. I described the symptoms to him. He goes, I went, what? Yeah, that's not good. I go, what? He goes, I think I know what it is. I think you tore the tendon that connects your ankle to your foot.
Ooh. What was the recovery time on that?
Oh, it was a long time, man. I'll show you the surgery because the cadaver tendon is weaved in there.
Jesus.
And in fact, they gave me the information that I could contact the family of the cadaver donor.
Oh, it's like a thank you?
Yes. So I go, well, hopefully he was a good golfer.
Yeah.
but no, it's weird. I'll have to show you the surgery.
Yeah,
but that foot then got bigger by a half size. I noticed my side wouldn't fit anymore. And then the right one adapted to that, and that became a half size bigger.
People on YouTube are saying feet get flatter and wider with age.
It's not wider, it's longer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Another half size.
See, I already have a hard time finding. I'm a 13. If my shoes, if I go up to a 14, I'm in trouble. You can't. It's hard to find.
I'm
14.
an 11. So I get these loafers on today that now I have to give away. These are nice too. Look at them.
They are nice. I noticed them when you walked in.
Yeah, they got a nice little pattern on them.
And you went with the sockless European look.
Sockless European look. It's got
shoe off in the studio out there.
No, it's a Robert Graham shoe.
Ooh, that's a nice expensive
it is
shoe.
A nice expensive shoe. Useless.
Useless now. Now you're gonna have to give it away. You have to sell it.
No, I give it away. I put them in a big. I go into one of those bins.
See, I always go to those bins,
I give
too.
my clothes away to those bins all the time.
So do I, but sometimes you don't realize those bins are turning a profit off of what we're giving them.
What do I care?
I don't care either. I do it, and then I realize, wait, I didn't just donate this. Like, Goodwill.
Turning a profit. What kind of a question is that?
Goodwill turns a profit.
So God bless them. God bless them. Let them turn a profit.
They just got a great name.
They're doing some good for the community.
Are they? They're making money.
I'd love to start Greatwell.
I'm not going to donate my clothes to charity because it's a profit involved.
No.
Come on, Bill.
You're not donating it to charity. When you give it to Goodwill, you're not necessarily donating it to charity. Goodwill is selling that stuff to make money off.
Goodwill is selling it at a lower price so people can afford clothes.
And they got it for free. What I'm saying is it's not all Goodwill from Goodwill. They're making some money.
I'm starting Greatwell.
Oh, my God.
Better than Goodwill?
Yeah, there you go, right? That's a good business opposite. Look, I'd rather just give my stuff
competition
away.
in the Goodwill game.
I'd rather just give it away.
I have a bigger heart than this whole entire show.
No. Let me ask you a question.
No.
When you go to Goodwill,
I don't want any more questions.
do you ask for the receipt? I don't. I just give it to them. You know, you could ask for the receipts.
Receipt? I just estimate my charitable contributions at the end.
If you don't have proof, I think you can max it out at $500 is my understanding. I'm not an accountant. That's not tax advice.
Yeah.
I just saw a tax thing?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing things in the bin.
That's what I do, but there are people who only do it for tax write-off.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't. When I use up my clothes, they go into the bin.
Yeah, I just think it's a bin drop off and move on for me.
So
I'm not looking for
a pair
a
of shoes that's going into the bin. Is my point.
I just wish that I could give it to a place that's not going to turn a profit on it and actually give it away.
Oh, my God, this guy, you're upset.
Give it away.
You're upset.
Give it away.
You know what? You give it to me, I'll take care of it.
I don't understand some of your viewpoints. I really don't.
Why
do you care if Goodwill's going to make a couple cents out of it?
What I'm saying is, if you had your choice,
all over the country.
If you had your choice, wouldn't you rather take those nice shoes and give them to somebody as opposed to someone having to buy them?
I'm giving them to somebody.
No, you're not. You're giving them to a company.
I'm giving them to somebody at a lower price. I'm making somebody happy. Man, you got to extrapolate it out to this is the lawyer in you.
Maybe.
You're going to take it out to the data point.
Maybe. I'm getting.
Are you getting crushed?
No, people are just like, is he really ripping Goodwill?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I can't.
Yes.
I'm not ripping him. What I'm saying is you could give him to other charities.
Oh, my God.
You see this thing that does something really nice? Here's why it's not nice. Hi, I'm Bill.
They just got a good name, good branding.
They just have a good name? I think it's more than the name.
It's Ray owed the next question. Where?
Yes.
Yes, it's Ray's
all right, Ray. Three-letter answer. Cinco menos cuatro.
Cinco menos cuatro. Uno.
Correct.
Nailed it.
Look at that.
We got a 5-4. We got a cinco.
I went Espanol on him, and he slayed it.
Wait, what's 4 in Spanish?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis.
That was the answer.
Ocho, nueve, diez.
So we're at cinco cuatro.
I did a trip to Costa Rica. 10-day, like one of those educational ones. So picked up a little Spanish.
Cinco menos cuatro iguales. Ben in Hammertown. Ben, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ben.
Hey, how are you doing, Mike?
What's up, Ben?
Glad you're on the show. I got first off, Goodwill. How do you think they make money? They've got administrative fees. They've got all that kind of stuff.
Administrative fees. They've got rental fees for buildings. They got a Bill over here wants to. He wants some guy outside to go. Hey, just give me your stuff. I'm going to.
I'd rather give it directly to those in need. Is that so wrong?
Never a transition period. Goodwill probably has to launder the clothes. They have to. They have to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, my other point was last night I went to sleep watching a great game from a team that never dies. In the ninth inning, it doesn't matter how many runs they're behind. You think they're going to win.
Yeah, wow. You mean we can't blame Rob Thompson or Dave Dombrowski for last night?
Well, who made that change? Who made the change within the league that has made any difference other than that? There was nobody out there. They did the best they could with that.
Well, I'm trusting Dombrowski that he did the best he could with the parameters that he had to work with, which include not wanting to give away a prospect who's going to be in the big leagues in a couple of years.
I think you need to book a therapist to help this fan base who's still injured from last year's Philly drop, the Eagles drop, and the Sixers and all that. We need a fan base that believes in the team because, by God, they're a good team and they're 20 games above 500. And, let's get over the fifth starter and let's enjoy what the team's got.
Oh, my God. Ben, did I get you to call here, or did you call just to support me? Because you've made the most sense of anybody today.
It's just ridiculous. Everybody's still...
I know. I fight the battle. What do you want me to do? I appreciate good teams. When they're not good, I'll bitch and moan like anybody else. When they do something wrong and they let the fan base down, I'm in. But not this team.
My only bitch on the call is I will not pay to go over and see the Sixers in New Jersey.
Well, okay, I got you. Ben, it's time for your general knowledge question.
All right, I'm ready.
What French oceanographer conducted research aboard his ship, the Calypso? This is the most famous oceanographer ever. In fact, he had
Jacques Cousteau.
Correctamundo! Jacques Cousteau, or Jacques-Yves Cousteau. Did you ever hear a TV show?
No.
Yeah, he had a TV show where it was actually an interesting TV show. He would go into the waters and, it was fun to watch. I forget what it was called. Jacques Cousteau had the TV show where he would get the scuba gear and go in and go explore the depths of the ocean.
Really?
What was it called? Yes.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it was a network show, I think. All right. Right?
I'm looking it up here. Well, it says he was a regular on Those Amazing Animals show.
It's when he had a show where he was he did the oceanography thing.
I'm not seeing it here.
I don't know. Maybe I was on drugs. All right. It's a general knowledge question for Ray.
It's a 5-5 game right now.
It's a 5-5 game, so Ray can go ahead with this one. Oh, Ray. You're not going to get this, right? I'm sorry I have to give it to you.
Oh.
What is the first name of the Princess of Wales?
Princess of Wales.
Now, I'll give you a different one. What type of snake is known for spitting?
Type of snake known for spitting.
Is this a 3-letter word?
No.
We're off to 3 letters.
It's a general knowledge question. It's also a Sylvester Stallone movie. Oh, man. You should have got it with that clue.
Hey, buddy, over there.
A snake is known for spitting, and also a Sylvester Stallone movie.
You got anything?
You
over
going
there?
Lifeline?
Yeah, I'll go Lifeline.
I'm going to guess here. Is it Cobra?
Cobra is correct. He uses the Lifeline and puts himself ahead 1.
That's why you get 3 of them.
Sam on a cell. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sam. Yo, Sam.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, Sammy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
One thing with the stadium, have you guys seen the impact report that came out, the independent one from the city?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you still in favor after what they found? Because it's kind of useless. Like, they're not going to make any money for 10 to 15 years and, like, not going to have as many jobs as they thought. And I don't know. I don't really like the idea of Chinatown getting destroyed like that.
Yeah, I don't. First of all, the studies are studies, and I don't know about the veracity of this particular study as opposed to the one the Sixers did, but I am still in favor of it because I like progress. I don't like the same old. I want progress. We would have a unique situation here with an arena like this.
I'm with you on that. I think it should be in the city, but not necessarily Center City. I kind of like the idea of maybe like West Philadelphia, around University City, because they're already doing a ton of development there. They have so much money.
They want to develop this particular area. It's a big area for them, Market Street, right where this is. It's a commercial district. It's got train connections. Come on.
I just don't see it being very viable.
Why isn't it viable for you?
I live in the city. I live in Northern Liberty.
Okay, well, then why isn't it viable for you? Why isn't it viable?
It's viable for me, but for the majority of people, and then how it would actually end up.
Well, the majority of people should get off their damn ass and change their view for once in a while and get on public transportation and learn how the real people do it.
We don't have a public transportation system set up to work that well. We have the Broad Street line and then the Market Street line, and then
all right. So the Missanelli plan is you have this monster parking lot as soon as you come off the 95 or the bridge, and then you take a shuttle in from there.
Okay, but then that would also then have to be the same cost of like the train system. You can't be charging $40, $50 for that parking lot if the train option isn't available.
Well, there's always a solution. I want progress. I want to make it happen.
All right.
All right, man. General knowledge question for you. All right, here is the question. The cornerback whose last-minute interception secured a Super Bowl victory for the Patriots over the Seahawks. Russell Wilson threw it. Who caught it?
Oh, the cornerback. You guys said his name earlier.
No, we didn't. No. It's a guy for the Patriots.
Oh, I got no idea.
Come on, man. He got benched in Super Bowl 52 against the Eagles.
Come on.
Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler is the correct answer. Were you still in a deadlock?
Now I've got a one point lead here.
You lead by 1?
Yeah.
Spider in South Philly. What, Bill?
I just wanted to say, I'm getting a lot of heat about the Goodwill comment.
Yeah.
But I did look up, and it is nice. The Goodwill puts a lot of their money back into their mission. However, and this is probably where I got this from, Salary.com said that the CEO of Goodwill typically earns around $500,000 a year, which is considered to be quite high for a nonprofit CEO.
Okay, what about...
So I think that's where I was getting that information.
I get it. How about Salvation Army? How about that? Is that okay with you? The Salvation Army, would that work? Or is there a CEO making $1 zillion?
Let's see what they make. The estimated pay range for the CEO of Salvation Army between 109 and 197. So you're talking almost 5 times if they're only making 100.
Are they doing good in the world?
The question was facetious. He was trying to give you an out to support something good.
Are they doing good in the world?
So maybe I'm going Salvation Army instead. We're ranking charities here.
Oh, jeez.
Let's go to Spider in South Philly. Spider, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Spider.
What's going on? I'm good, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful day out.
I just wanted to say I'm looking forward to Friday night, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I believe we're going to win the game, and we're going to win that thing by like 10 points or more.
I tell you what, give me the Packers in 10.
The Packers with 10?
Give me the Packers in 10. And a little side bet here for a sandwich.
All right, that's the bet, Mike.
All right,
I got
you got it.
All right, if I lose, I get your Cash App information or whatever. And send you some.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
man.
All right, and the stadium thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like all the stadiums being there at one spot. For real. That aerial view looks lovely. It's nice to be able to go like the times when there are multiple things going on down there. You can go from one facility to the next.
Yeah, but it's a mess down there when they do that, man. The traffic.
Boring. It's boring. It's boring. Let's do something different. Let's do something unique.
Is traffic already bad in Center City?
Oh, my God. Yeah. People are so scared. Everybody's scared of progress.
But how is that progress?
Dude, they would obviously have a plan to alleviate the traffic. They're just not going to let it put up a building and let people just run into each other. There's going to be infrastructure.
This is the city of Philadelphia, Mike.
All right,
where they close 95 down on game days and make everybody ride in one area and traffic be completely horrible.
I'm confident that the Sixers will address that kind of a situation.
I don't know, Mike. I just think it's beautiful where it's at, man. If they can figure out a way to just get it, like maybe improve that down
I'm so
there.
disappointed in the city for not being
but I like
progressive.
it like that.
All right, man.
Listen. Going to do what they got to do. I think we're going to make it happen.
All right, here's your general knowledge question. It's a 3-letter answer. He was the chosen one of the Matrix.
Neo.
Oh.
Correct. Neo is correct.
6-6 tie.
That ties it up. We need one to break the tie, and I don't think we're going to get it. We're at the end of the show.
Do or die question for me. I get it.
Tie goes to the caller. Tie goes to the caller.
Tie goes to the caller. All right. Let's see. You're going to have to earn this one, Ray. Which Greek god could supposedly be reached by the Oracle of Delphi?
Oh, man.
And I will give you a hint. It has something to do with Sylvester Stallone also.
Great. Zeus.
Oh, Bill, he didn't ask for the lifeline. The question is over.
I did not.
But I think you know it, Bill.
I'm not sure that I do.
Oh, so you
Hold on.
You had a big smile on your face like you knew it.
Because you gave him the hint about Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone figures in this answer somehow. Maybe in an obscure kind of backdoor type of way.
Apollo. Because he fought Apollo in Rocky 1.
Correct.
All right.
There it is.
Let's get to the closing argument.
So it's 6-6, so the callers get the Weezer tickets.
Callers get the Weezer tickets. Congratulations. All right, it's time for the closing argument.
Now, closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
I am sick of people in this town, Bill, taking this Phillies team lightly and always bitching about what they don't have. They don't have a fifth starter. They have to put out Taiwan Walker and Tyler Phillips until Kobe Allen gets here. They don't have enough fielder. At the trading deadline, they should have gotten Willie Mays. He was available. I am sick of it. The Phillies are in first place. They are on a stretch where they're going to have to win against Milwaukee, maybe 2 or 3 games to lock the whole thing up. They are going to end up being the number 1 or 2 seed in Major League Baseball, sitting out, and we're going into the playoffs with a top-seeded team. Stop worrying about Thompson not bunting. Stop worrying about Dombrowski not acquiring Willie Mays, Bill. Stop worrying about the 5th starter. It doesn't matter. Appreciate that this is a good team with a good manager. Bill, shut the hell up. That is my closing argument.
I got a major problem with this segment because I don't get a rebuttal.
No, you don't. Time to go.
This is the grand jury. No cross-examination. Ben Robinson, congratulations. He's our winner of the Weezer tickets for their concert, which is coming on Friday, September 13th at the Wells Fargo Center. Congratulations to Ben. Thanks, everybody, for playing. Tomorrow, big show. Charles Barkley co-hosting with me. Do not miss it. Have a great rest of the night. Talk to you tomorrow.